All right. Welcome back to, I think it's episode 23. Episode
Yep.
23 of Heroes in Training. We are in the middle of the Heroes in Training tournament. It has been a long tournament arc, and we are hoping to bring it to a close this episode. See who is the champions.
In your dreams.
Yeah. Well, I guess it depends on if you guys don't want to finish it this session. Then feel free to drag your feet, as long as you're still having fun.
To be fair, PvP will probably take longer than anything because we have so many conditions to burn through. But
we'll see. We'll see how that.
Connor's not letting us
works.
get through this tournament without something else happening, I think.
I don't know. The last thing I want to have happen is we don't find out who wins the tournament because something else goes on.
I think we're still going to find out who wins the
David
tournament.
has made that clear. Yeah.
But I think it's also
drives me
going to
nuts.
happen. Something is going to interrupt it.
I'm sure something will happen.
We're
maybe
about
it's
to collide, and then the villains are going to come in.
Maybe it's the closing ceremony.
Yeah. Well, so there's a reward for winning, which there wouldn't be if we couldn't win, right? I think
That's true.
Like that would be
Or Connor's
frustrating.
has been a big fat liar this whole time.
So yeah. Well, like you said, I've expressed multiple times that that's the last thing I want to have happen. So I'm hoping that's not what happens.
Hey, my favorite show is Lost, so I'll let the reader understand.
I've never seen it. So
I know.
It's not worth it.
It's known for not answering or like not giving a satisfying answer to mysteries, which I think is incorrect. But anyway,
well, so
I think David would
mean-
rage quit at the same point I did.
I don't know. Yeah, it would depend. Yeah,
What
that's
happened
possible.
when you rage quit?
All right,
Well, it depends on which time you tried watching, but
I rage quit twice. So.
yeah.
I mean, it's not important.
Once way
Yeah.
sooner.
Well,
Okay, so we are in the middle of the Palladium and Quantum Quill fight. What happened last, I believe, was Palladium triggered Quantum Quill's moment of truth and then used
carefully
it to
guided it.
yeah,
to not
carefully
destroy me.
yes, and you basically used her moment of truth to give yourself a merit, and what happened was
Like a true gamer would.
right.
Jared and David are proud.
You
I'm so
melded
proud.
all of the burning rubble together using your heat absorption ability, and then threw it at her, forcing her to push past her limit and push something that weighed more than 10 pounds. And so she pushed it back at you, and then you used your heat to like basically melt it to slag. And so now it's out of the fight. So now it's just you and Quantum Quill, el mano. She has her normal a gear, right? But she doesn't have any type of other like rubble pieces to use.
It's
as
such a
her
slap in the
attack.
face. It's like, you can do it. You're the best. And she does this big
Yeah.
thing. You're like, slap. You suck.
Yeah.
Time to
But
die.
that's the thing.
Melted.
We
Your
framed it
best
at
is
the
my worst.
yeah, right.
Like, geez, man.
we did frame it at the end that I was like, okay, now we're, like you've done your moment of truth, you've got your cool moment, but now we're doing a real fight, right?
Yeah, I think the last thing you said, because you wanted to switch your labels right away at the beginning of the session. The last thing you said, I think, was don't forget that this is a tournament or something like that.
Yeah.
So you're basically like, okay, you had your moment, now it's time to die. So
It's
let's
such a condescending thing to the person whose moment you just sculpted.
yeah, so what you should do
Oh,
is
my
switch your
goodness.
label and then tell me what you do next.
Yes. Well, obviously, I directly engage a threat by heading directly into danger without regard for my own safety, which is like the one thing I do in combat.
So, but you have to remember, it's a narrative trigger. You can't decide that you're going to do that and then roll.
Connor,
you have to tell me. Yeah.
I already hit this trigger. I'm doing
How?
dangerous web. When you reveal a trap you've left for someone using your powers, roll plus your mask label. This whole thing has been a trap. I just destroyed all of her little things that she can. That's what I did.
Well, not necessarily, because
Oh, that's
the
true. No,
result
because if I
of the
fail
trap already
this,
happened, right? Yeah.
yeah, you're right.
So I mean, that was part of
Yeah.
your moment or her moment of truth.
Because it's on a hit, your opponent trips into it. and you get it.
Right.
Okay,
And actually, I'm not sure there's a way you can approach this fight that is disregarding your safety because you can't get hurt.
Yeah.
Unless you're disregarding your safety by like
you gotta
risking
get
being
naked. You
seen
can get
or
naked like I
something.
did.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Disregarding your safety is putting yourself in danger to get the offensive edge, right? Like you're doing something you wouldn't normally do and don't have to do in order to give yourself the offensive edge.
So all you gotta do is rip your helmet off and have social danger, and then beat her with your helmet, and then you win.
Unfortunately, though, I have a -1 to danger right now.
I had to roll -2 all last session.
I really need to figure out. Okay, I guess maybe I just have to do like maybe just not directly attack her, but like try to do power stuff. Maybe.
I mean, I assume that we're still in the realm of enforcing the narrative through modifiers, right? I mean, there's a 0 shot that you lose a fist fight with her, right? I don't think there's any world where that happens. So like, is that a roll even? Like, does he not just describe himself pummeling her mercilessly?
So she still has her gear, remember? So she's not.
What is her gear again?
Like
defenseless.
Ball bearings, right?
Yeah, ball bearings. I think we suggested, but we haven't seen her use them yet. Of like caltrops.
Right, but all of those would just amp his armor, right? And she has like 0 defenses or ability to stop him from doing anything, right?
I
don't know. I just don't see any world where this isn't like a very short one-sided fight.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but Caleb just has to decide what he does.
And she can also move gas now, right?
Yeah, but I don't think he's had Taco Bell recently, so it's probably fine.
Me? Are you talking about Quantum Quill?
What? Quantum Quill.
She can move gas?
Yeah, she can airbend now or whatever.
She can airbend now.
Can she?
Yeah.
When did that happen?
When
Caleb,
that was you taught her to move big things. I taught her to move little things.
Yep, this happened at the beginning of season 3, Legend of Korra. Everybody just randomly got airbending powers. It's just a thing now. Just deal with it.
Fair enough.
What?
No, nothing. Never mind.
I don't know what that's referencing.
That's fine. Don't worry about it.
Really
trying to keep the momentum going.
I remember her being able to like lift heavier things, but it was
she moved gas in phase 3 of the tournament. So Palladium probably doesn't know.
I missed it. Yeah. I think Caleb
that's true.
Missed it.
Yeah, I guess we hadn't seen that happen. That's true.
Yeah, that's why Caleb missed it, because it wasn't.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
I'm gonna. Yeah, that's obviously. I need to be in character, you know.
Yeah. It's method acting.
Yeah, for sure. Don't worry about it.
Whenever my character isn't in a scene, I just ignore it entirely.
Yeah.
No. Hey, as I was listening back through Heroes, I was actually rather impressed by how engaged I actually was in these sessions. I actually was doing the good thing. Okay. I do think it makes sense to just be like, what would Palladium actually do? And then follow through on the narrative. I do think that it doesn't make any sense that he would do anything but charge her. Full throttle, fist fight now. Because even if she's shooting ball bearings at me, like they're just going to power up my kinetic. That's all it's going to do. So according to Palladium's mind, he's just like, okay, cool. I'm going to get in your face now, and I'm sure you're going to have a trick, but like I'm going for the kill, right?
I would say, situational +1. She's responding to that by just trying to evade, right? I mean, she can just fly herself away with her ball bearings and whatnot. So
right. Well, so then am I rolling directly engage a threat? Because
I believe so. I mean, you're like we were saying, right? There's no trigger in here where you're putting yourself in danger that you don't need to be in.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I guess I'm wondering, like, because on a hit you trade blows. Is she actually able to get a blow in on me? Like, is that the scenario we're in right now, narratively?
So trading blows doesn't necessarily. So like trading blows is like when you're unleashing your powers, right?
Yeah.
Well, there's 2 things there, right? Like taking damage could just mean you take an emotional condition, right? It doesn't have to actually reflect in physical damage. That's one thing. Secondly, trading blows is like unleashing your powers. You change your environment, but that doesn't mean that the way you changed your environment was a smart thing to do, right? So trading blows might mean she hits you with a bunch of ball bearings and it does nothing because you're wearing armor, right? So like trading blows has always been like that. Or trading blows could be you roll to take a powerful blow because you traded blows with heartbeat. Right,
that's true. Yeah,
it's trading blows in itself is a narrative.
Her blow might not actually do anything to me. Yeah, correct. You're right. Okay, yeah, I think that's what I'm doing. So, but yeah, thank you for the +1 modifier. That makes sense. Given the situation. Okay.
You're welcome.
Luckily, I do not have afraid anymore, which I'm glad I took off for took off last time, because otherwise this would have sucked. There you go.
There you go. 7 and 9. I think on a 7 and 9 you choose one.
What's our situation for team, real quick, by the way?
So the team was at like some ungodly 6 number because of Bastion and Quantum Quill's maze phase. So I just reverted it to 1. Which we normally have been doing anyway, and there's no one to spend it on anyway, and so I'm just keeping it at 1. Like you could spend it on anybody right now, but like side conversation, those types of things.
Well, here's something that we did in the first arc, but we completely forgot about in the rules. You can use team selfishly,
right? But when you spend team selfishly, all you do is
just change your labels. So
I mean that might help me now.
But isn't your label that you're using? Oh no, you're using danger.
I'm using danger -1.
Yep.
But you also have to like lash out and hurt a teammate. I guess you could hurt her. That feels a little.
I probably won't. I did want to just check it though, right?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see.
That's true.
Where is this? Team mechanics. Okay. Using team selfishly. See how your actions ignore or insult your teammates. Remove one team from the pool and shift one label one up and down. Okay. Yeah. That's definitely not what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
I didn't remember exactly.
That would be like a Jericho move. That'd be very bipolar.
Bipolar of me to do. Yeah, that's true. If Seth was playing Palladium right now,
start insulting her super hardcore.
Yep.
And then afterwards, I give her all my armor because I'm.
You give her all your money.
Dump all of his clothes over the board, the ship, and then give him all yours. Okay, so. Directly engage a threat on a 7 to 9 pick 1. You either resist or avoid their blows, take something from them, create an opportunity for your allies, impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition. So you're picking 1, not 2. And on a hit, you trade blows.
We're trading blows, and then
unless you choose resist or avoid their blows.
Okay, can you tell me flat out if I don't choose that, am I actually getting hit? Or
I am not going to answer that question.
I mean, narratively, what can I expect? You do have to set up the narrative in such a way that I understand whether or not like what I'm getting into. Like, because you would be describing this differently if I was going after Heartbeat or something.
Well, if you can't predict what Connor is going to do, he doesn't have to tell you what he's going to do.
Right. I mean, it's a narrative trigger, right?
I don't know. It just feels kind of silly that I spent all that work destroying her stuff, and then I'm like, okay, cool, I have an opportunity here, and then if I decide because of the narrative that we set up that I don't need to resist or avoid her blows, and then you just say, yeah, actually she had some trick the whole time, it seems kind of cheap. Maybe that's just me.
I mean, okay, look, there's a couple of
there's a very obvious thing she could do to beat you instantly.
Yeah. Well,
is there? Okay, maybe I just not thinking about it.
So there's that. Also, keep in mind, you triggered her moment of truth, not your moment of truth.
But the moment of truth is over now.
Right.
Let's be clear about
clarifying.
that.
The scene's still going. It lasts the whole scene.
We're in the moment of lies now.
Yeah, the theme song is still playing for her moment of truth.
Darn it! Yeah. Like I gotta change this soundtrack as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
I mean, there isn't really any reason not to just pick that, right? And then just roll again the next time you have to fight her.
Yeah, it's boring though.
Well,
like I wanted to do take something from them. I thought that would be
something from them. You just melt the rest of her gear, right?
Okay, can you tell me at least if I do that, is she somehow still going to get a hit on me?
I'm not going to answer that question.
It doesn't make any sense that would be the case.
It does. She has a very specific thing she can do to beat you.
Whatever. I resist or avoid her blows. See, David doesn't remember it either. I
have no idea what you're.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's fine.
Whatever. I'll resist or avoid her blows.
Yeah. Okay. So I think she's like hitting you with her ball bearings and her caltrops, those types of things, right? And it just has no effect on you. So how are you dealing damage to her?
I'm just punching her in the face. Like I'm assuming that like 4 pulse is gonna get her out of there, but I'm just
this is like the ball bearings thing where she's like flying around, right? And then I'm assuming you're like zooming after her like Iron Man style, right, or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm not like flying necessarily, but like even without energy, being particularly charged with energy, Palladium's armor just gives him. He's just faster and stronger, and like that's just how the armor works. So he's just he's just a shard plate warrior, like charging after her right now, ready to punch her in the face, right?
Yeah. So I'm gonna say she doesn't have any armor or anything like that to quote unquote like resist this, right? But she also doesn't necessarily have to be like takes 2 conditions from this, because she is
just normal blood.
She has a way of like avoiding
she's a superhero.
these and not taking this head on. Well, no, I mean she's not like
she's like
she's
moving
not standing there, right? This isn't DJ where he's just like on the ground. He literally can't do anything. She has a way of actually like avoiding.
That's what I mean. It's like we're all super powered people here. There are ways that we can avoid this sort of thing. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So as the villain move, what I think I'll do is your armor, as you guys are like jostling around and going from one end of the arena to the other, your armor starts saying that it needs to vent out the armor, and there's something getting in. And I guess how would it what
did everyone just hear what Connor
give you?
Did Connor say villain move?
Yeah. That's a term.
It's just an adversarial thing, not necessarily.
Okay, I had a heart attack for a moment. I was like, wait a second.
A bad guy.
Is Quantum Quill secretly a villain? What is going on?
That's just what the game calls it. Yeah.
Yeah. I
literally. That's.
I actually spoiled the surprise.
She did lead me to Mercury.
If you listen back, through, or sorry, you watch back through this, you will see me just suddenly like freeze and then just like go like just stare into the distance for a second.
That could be our clip.
That's funny.
Okay, so I think your armor starts to tell you that there's I guess I'm trying to think of the emotional vibe it gives you of like anxiety, right? Starts to give you anxiety, and
that's awful.
Yeah. Well, no, it doesn't start to give you anxiety. That's how it communicates. Is it
feeling anxiety?
You're feeling its anxiety, but the way you said it just made it feel like it was just injecting anxiety into him, which is awful.
Yeah.
Anyways, good.
Yeah, I guess kind of a little bit. But,
I mean, yeah, I suppose.
So I think, what do I do here? Jared, you know what I'm doing. Should I have him take a condition or roll to take a powerful blow?
I mean, I don't think that a villain move.
It depends which thing you're going with.
I would love to take a powerful blow because I have a special move for that.
Yeah, so a villain move is triggered because you've done a good thing. I don't think there's any situation short of maybe like you're fighting Tempest where it should just automatically inflict a mechanical condition on you or even cause you to take a powerful blow.
You should probably have to roll defend first.
Yeah, I think it's meant to be like
that's true.
Soft move or maybe like a hard move that doesn't hurt you, right?
So I'm going to say roll free to properly vent your armor.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. Sounds good. I don't think I have any.
Otherwise, it kind of just turns a success into an automatic failure, and I'm not really sure that's the intention.
All right. Here we go. Yeah.
Full hit. Yep. So I think
I say to my armor, I'm like, don't worry, we got this.
Yep.
Whatever she's doing, I'll counter it.
Also, you just did this with the water, so
yeah. And for sure, what she's doing is all of the like smoke and stuff that came in the air because you literally evaporated a giant rock. She was forcing that into your armor to try and choke you out. I'm not sure if that's, Jared, what you thought I was going for now.
It was putting like either smoke or some kind, or depriving them of oxygen. There's one other obvious thing she can do.
I'm not so sure about that.
She could try to bloodbend me, maybe.
So it's similar to what Shorty did. Not Shorty, DJ.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I have thought about that. That one feels a little bit too.
I assume his armor can hold itself together. Right?
Yeah, right. It is technically one piece. So she would have to really work at separating out the pieces in her mind, which Palladium taught her to do. So that's
true. But also there is a difference between DJ being able to control technology and then finding the way to figure out this particular type of technology I'm wearing and being able to influence alien tech, like just telekinesis, the alien technology, which is built to be very, very particularly fused together on a person.
Yeah.
Right.
Plus she'd probably have to find ways to like undo the hermetic seals and like unlatch the, I just don't know if that's a thing that just yanking on it with telekinesis could do, but
She might be able to.
Yeah, it depends.
Just tug me around entirely. Right.
I mean, maybe.
And she is smart.
Yeah.
Maybe
she saw it like fall apart. Well, yeah. Going off of how she saw like DJ.
Right.
Seeing it come apart. I mean.
Yep.
Yeah. So I do think that like
you vented out, then go ahead and tell me what happens next.
My stuff with the water, like David was saying, that's probably one of the reasons this is so easy for me to just shrug off. I'm like, don't worry, we got this. Like we've done this before. We know what we're doing. Like vent it out. Make sure you're filtering everything. Like keep an eye on this armor. Like don't let your guard down.
Yeah.
I don't say anything though, but I'm in serious mode, and I think I'm just going to try to do it again, right? Like I'm just going to attack her again.
Yeah.
You see Bastion up in the stands, just like, man, the news hate you, left wing, just punching a girl in the face with arms.
Yeah, like, man, this is rough.
I mean, to be fair, they're going to see her almost drop a giant rock on me and then me take her out. That's hey, that's kind
of like Bakugo and Uraraka. It's almost exactly the same. But okay, yeah, go ahead.
I don't like that I'm Bakugo in this situation, though.
Yeah, go ahead and roll danger.
Yeah, that was supposed to be my thing.
Well, to be fair, the first thing you did was the Deku, it's your power.
Yeah, true.
Thing. Yeah. You did do the moment of truth thing first.
I did.
And then you nuked her.
And then I decided to be Bakugo.
Yeah.
It's basically if Deku had been able to control his power more, and he had done that thing with Todoroki, be like, no, it's your power, and then still pummeled him afterwards because he still knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll danger. I think you can still get that situational +1. Yep.
All right, still at 7 to 9.
Yep.
I'm gonna keep resisting. Right. We'll just play it safe. We'll just keep going until she's out. Right.
Yep. I think the last thing she tries is to pull at your armor pieces to try and.
I let her do it. I guess I was assuming. You know what? For a moment there, I was like, pull her shield. She's gonna pull me straight towards her. But of course, that's not probably.
Oh no, that's not. Yeah, not the same thing. But I think in terms of in terms of she's trying to pull it apart, right? I think she does actually like you are able to carry that momentum with you, and you punch through her, right, and she disappears.
All right, cool.
Yep.
Nice.
Go.
Yep. So
a little bit short at the beginning of this session, but that's because we spent like an hour on it last session.
Yeah. It's just wrapping it up.
It's the only thing I got to do last session. So
yeah.
So I basically just I don't like make a huge deal about it to the crowd. But I just like I guess she gets taken to like a side room, right?
Just to that box, right, where they can watch from the TV.
Is it nearby us? Like how fast can I get there?
They teleport you next after you get like a moment to celebrate, basically a moment to stand strong, and then they pull you back.
I just stand strong. I don't like raise my fist or anything crazy. Sure, I just like stand strong, like, okay, you know, I did it, like, thank you, you know. But nothing outlandish, right? Nothing conspicuous.
I think people are less like and more like, oh, that was a good fight.
Yep And that's what I want them to feel. I don't want
all right,
cool. But as soon as I get teleported back, I rip off my helmet and I'm like, way to go, Quantum.
Yeah, nice.
Right. I just want to make it all about, like, even though I won, I'm going to try to do it in a way that I'm like not coming off as like arrogant or like conceited about it. But like, I just want to like talk. All I want to do is talk about how cool she is.
Yeah. I think like a lot of other people are similar, right? Even people from the New York school are like excited for her. And I guess there's not very many people from the New York school here anymore.
They're all dead.
They're all out, right? So they can either stay in here. So like it'd be like Alchemist, Scarlet Saber statue.
Is it because they were talking to Scarlet Saber when I beat her, and she was the last one, so they must have still been around.
Yep. So I think I think she seems, you know how like when you like someone's getting a lot of compliments, they're not used to it, and so they just like they're like kind of like smiling a lot, and they kind of just look goofy. That's kind of how she looks. She like is just happy to be in the moment, but like can't seem to like tone down the smile on her face, even though she looks uncomfortable.
Here's a question: do I have influence over Quantum? I don't right now, but would that scene have given me influence, just like narratively? Just curious.
I don't.
It's fine if not.
Maybe. Yeah, I suppose. I mean, I don't see a reason why I can't just do that. So I think that's fine.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can.
It's always nice to have like. What about DJ? Because I basically did a very similar thing with DJ. No, I guess no. This was way more intense.
Yeah.
I was simply coaching you through it.
I also think I can't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure that. Oh, okay, that's what it was. In in one of the moves where you get her or get a peer's last advancement so that they would trigger their moment of truth. That's when you take advancement over them. That's what I was thinking. You don't necessarily mechanically get advancement for triggering someone's moment of truth, but I could see that being an addition too. I might think about that. But yeah, you can take it.
You were saying advancement. I think you meant influence, right?
Yeah, I meant influence. But I did also mean to say advancement in the sense that when you give them their last advancement,
right, yes.
so that they get their moment. Okay, I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
If
I knew what you were saying, but yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Cool. Honestly, this is so far this phase of the tournament has gone exactly as I wanted it to. I'm still winning the fights, but I'm letting the other people like do their cool moments, and I'm being a good team player. Like this is exactly what I want Palladium to be. So I'm in a good place. I like this.
Okay, so last fight of round 2 is Iceblade versus Emoticon, and so we'll get that really quick.
We need to vote Caleb.
And you guys, all three of you guys, go ahead and vote as to who you think is going to win. Keep in mind, Palladium and Bastion are tied, and this is going to be the last player versus NPC fight. So
I'll vote Iceblade because
NPC versus NPC.
If they're both wrong, I'll tie.
There you go.
It won't be, but if they are,
I have to say Emoticon. It just. I think he's gonna win.
Okay, Emoticon. Yeah. So if Emoticon wins, you guys tie.
Oh, okay. So then, Caleb and I just get an advancement anyway, regardless.
I'm not sure what I'll do. You guys might get half advancements. We'll see.
What?
Come on.
I just give it to whoever wins the fight.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I mean, assuming they fight, I guess.
Okay, so let me start off. I think as we get a shot of like as Iceblade and Emoticon are like going out into the stand, I think we see like the looks on all the people that are like down at the stadium level. And I think actually no, let me back up a little bit. Before those two go down, before they get called down, I think we see what's his face? Pocket Arsenal. He comes up to the box up there and he like is talking to Iceblade. And he says, Iceblade, remember to use your. I don't think he says Iceblade. He just says, listen, remember to use your electrical absorber gadget. Okay, that's the main thing that you need to use against him. Okay, just trust me. And I think Iceblade's kind of like grunting, but like kind of listening. And that's when they go down. And when they go down to the stadium, the crowd is like wild when they see Emoticon's face, like super excited to see him. And I like Emoticon is like down in a ready stance, right? Iceblade looks super confident, super cocky. And it's the same thing as when he was fighting Soul Impact. First thing he does, tosses up a puck, right? And slams it in. Oh, and then the modifiers for Emoticon is metallic. So there's some metallic plating on the ground, not covering the whole thing though. And then there's the bumper pillars in the corners. So that's what Iceblade is using as he's hitting his pucks around. And I think the fight starts with Iceblade or Emoticon doing his normal like happy flying thing, and he's like evading different gadgets and whatnot. And at a certain point in time, Iceblade kind of like secretly, almost like stealthily, sleight of hand wise, like tosses a gadget down towards the metallic part as he's like slowly moving towards it. And eventually, at a certain point, Iceblade steps onto the metallic plating, and Emoticon drops sad into his chest and lands down and zaps a bunch of electricity into the plating, and it all just goes into this little gadget that he had tossed onto the metal plating, and it just absorbs all of the electricity. And then a bunch of different gadgets like converge all at once right at emoticon. There's like an explosion that goes off, and he just narrowly dodges it. And then he also gets netted by the same thing that netted Soul Impact, but instead of around his legs, it's like around his torso. And he falls to the ground and he tries to like fly away. And Iceblade, like in his net, and Iceblade is like, "Sorry, kid, you're strong, too strong, but I see through your every move. I knew exactly what you were going to do before you did it." And he tosses
when
up
did
a puck.
Iceblade become a cop from an 80s movie?
He's Batman.
Yeah, he's Batman. He pulls out some kryptonite. No,
Also, you're trying to tell me I couldn't get my kickball back, but this guy has 7 truckloads of explosives, and they just keep giving him new truckloads every round.
So there's an answer to that, actually. There's an answer to exactly why.
Yeah, favoritism. That's the answer.
Actually, you probably have just noticed that every time a match is done, he goes to his locker and pulls out more gadgets.
So what multi-million-dollar company is funding him? Because I want that one.
I go to my locker, but just rip all of the carbon out of it and make new armor.
Your locker is just a hole in the ground. You just make it bigger. Sorry, go ahead.
He built it in a cave with a box of scraps.
So I think he's in it like a net, right? And he tosses up one final explosive, right? And he throws it, and he hits it, and I think he hits it straight towards Emoticon. And we get like a slow motion shot of Emoticon, and we see like fear, kind of like almost like what's the word? Like almost like sparkle, not sparkle, but like almost like zaps with energy, like it almost like it or like a little bit of an activation from fear, right. And then a little bit of an activation for driven. And I think it like pulls into his chest super quickly. And we see his eyes like glancing back and forth. And then we get that one comes out. I think we see a sad like spark a little bit. And then we see angry come in. And then we see a bunch of ice like form around the net. It snaps. Driven like snaps back into his chest. And then happy snaps back into his chest. And he ducks underneath of it. And then he I think he like gets in super close with his flight, and Iceblade, like I think we see it's like still kind of like in slow motion, and Iceblade's eyes just go like super wide, and I think maybe he like pulls out another gadget, and then Emoticon's angry like pops into his chest, and he goes, I think he even like cries out. Like maybe he like closes his eyes and it's like, "Ah!" And we just see a ton of ice just come out of his hand, and I think Iceblade just disappears. And what is left is just like a what's the word? Like a not a pillar, but like a just like a glacier of ice, right? Yeah. Not Todoroki's thing. Todoroki's thing is I created I created an entire glacier.
Yeah, I want to be honest. I struggled to believe that he lost a fight ever after that scene. Yeah. They really broke the
realism level there, or the power level there. Uh-huh. Yeah. So but we just see like a huge comparatively from what we've seen from Iceblade or Emoticon before, just like a huge like bunch of spikes of ice. And then I think he like grabs at his chest, not grabs at his chest like he's having a heart attack or anything like that, but calms himself down and then turns towards the crowd and like holds up a fist or whatever, and he gets pulled back as well. And I think Iceblade just got
beat by an ice blade.
I was gonna say, it's rough.
Yeah, I think when Iceblade comes back, I think he's just like shocked.
Yeah,
and he like looks over at Emoticon and he's just like just stunned. And I think Emoticon, when he comes back, he just kind of like nods to Iceblade. And I think we see get a shot of Pocket Arsenal in the stands again, and he's like, "Whoa, yeah, that worked great. He used it." And
Iceblade looks at Emoticon and says, "I guess you won, you dang nerd."
No, it doesn't say that. But then, so round 2 closes up, right? And then Duplicity says, "Okay, we are now down to the final 4.
So me and Jerry got advancements, right?
I think I like David's idea. When/if you guys fight, which is
that wasn't the rule.
My other thought was that maybe you should just give it to the person who's gotten the fewest advancements. That was my other thought.
Yeah, we could do that.
Why not give us
quite
both
a bit.
advancements?
Why am I being stingy about advancements?
You said
because the game is great and I want it to stay for a long time.
But Connor, you gave us criteria for what would give us an advancement, and we both met the criteria.
Yeah, you can both
Thank you.
Well, no, you had to win.
That's true. I did say you had to win, but if you guys are upset about it, that's fine. I'll just give it to you.
No, you didn't.
What? No,
you said who gave us.
You said whoever gets the most by the end.
Yeah.
That's literally what you said.
Gets one advancement. The one person who gets who guesses the most gets one advancement. That's what I said.
Sure. Yeah, but
you guys both just get it. That's fine.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
I don't want to make you angry for no reason.
Now I'm angry because I'm the one who didn't get it. All right.
Yeah. Well, you didn't guess.
You know what? I think David should get one too for a participation trophy.
David, stop being such a baby.
Yeah. Let's bully David now.
Look, we're not going to be fair to them.
Okay. So anyway,
Connor.
Yeah.
I level up.
See, that's what I was afraid of. That's what I'm afraid of.
I'm unlocking the adult move for free.
Wow! Is that what you're doing?
Honestly, that feels pretty appropriate for what Bastion is doing.
What he just did last time. Yeah.
Can't wait to argue about what grace means for the next 10 sessions.
Yep. Okay, so what we're gonna do is duplicity is like we're down to the last 4 contestants: Palladium, Leftwing, Bastion, and Emoticon. The last the next 2 fights will be as follows: Bastion versus Palladium and Leftwing versus Emoticon.
I knew you were gonna do that.
Mm-hmm. You called it the hate fight. Let's get it.
I think I'm gonna lose.
Let's do it.
I think I'm gonna lose.
Is there another advancement to play if I just guess that I'm gonna lose and then
Actually, no. If you do that, I'll take away Bastion.
Tempting.
Wait, what?
Oh man. Woo, okay. Let's do it. I think we should get Palladium and Bastion's fight first.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, Palladium just did a fight.
That's true. Leftwing, do you want some time to prepare, or do you want to go straight into it?
It feels like Leftwing versus Emoticon is going to be more climactic than mine Bastions, but that's totally fine either way.
I think it would flow better if we did Palladium and Bastion first, but especially because we'd be going from PvP to PvE to PvP. True. Right?
Sure. Yeah.
Well, provided Leftwing doesn't lose, then it would be back to PvP.
Well, so I actually think so Leftwing wants to win the tournament. Like, I know Palladium said he wouldn't use his moment of truth, but I think Leftwing would. But I was a little like, I don't want to use my moment of truth on a player because that's kind of lame. So I mean, I think
that'd be pretty thematic if you used it on Emoticon.
Yeah, that's kind of my thought. I might do that. And then I don't have to worry about using it on either of you guys. So.
Or we could both use our moment of truths together in the finale and destroy it.
Do we all have a moment of truth unlocked right now?
Well, you don't have.
No, Bastion doesn't have one.
Well, I could instead of getting.
You could get it.
Yeah, you could get your second one. Yeah, but
that's true.
Thematically, you'll be out of.
I personally think using a moment of truth in this game at all in the tournament arc seems like a terrible idea.
Well, I mean, for Leftwing, it's there's a lot more at stake than just like being the next one that levels up. But
yeah. There's some character stuff here.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Wait, no, we decided.
To get pummeled.
Yeah, we decided Bastion versus Palladium, right?
Yeah.
Do I have armor?
Yes. Yeah. I'm totally fine with you still having your armor, even though it was disintegrated before. That makes perfect sense. David, it was a kickball, and every teacher in the school knows you were trying to cheat.
Favoritism. Is that cheating? Everyone else gets
they were extra dodgeballs, and they burned them as soon as they saw what you did with it. I'm just kidding. That's totally not true.
Oh my goodness.
The main reason for that, actually, well, there is some favoritism, but the main reason I thought about that is I just thought it would be less fun if you did.
Yeah, no, I don't actually care.
I know. Yeah. Okay, so let's just jump straight into PvP. Do you guys have any banter before you're going in?
I do think I probably say to Bastion, like, don't hurt me too much, Bastion. Let's try to have a little bit of fun here. I'm going into this and just assuming I'm going to lose, but I'm going to do it I'm just going to have fun.
You know what you should do, Caleb? You should wield your defeat with precision and grace.
Wow.
I do have my moment of truth unlocked, but I'm not going to spend it here.
Well, we'll see about that. Let's see how bad you want to win. See how much Bastion taunts you.
I mean, he said that he doesn't want to win.
Sauron.
I want to use my moment of truth to encourage Palladium to beat
me. And then use it to get an opportunity against him to actually beat him after you encourage him, right?
Yeah. And then he uses his to win anyway.
Right. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So yeah, Bastion, do you see anything to Palladium as you're going down?
Did you say something
standing across from each other? I think Palladium just said, "Let's get this over with."
No. I said, don't hurt me too much, right. Bastion. Let's try to have fun with this.
I mean, I think he's just thinking like, how do I hurt him?
Yeah, I think this is cool. It's like not both players, but like both teammates are like, man, I don't know how I'm going to beat this guy. I like that a lot.
Yeah, me too. We both have very high estimations of what each other can do, probably.
Yeah.
Maybe this might be me as player Caleb thinking about it more than Palladium, but
yeah. Okay.
I mean, yep. Just put my armor on and I'm ready to go.
Do we roll initiative?
Start the fight?
Or?
I think how we should handle this is once we start, tell me. We always do this, right? You say what you do, right? And then we'll decide what the role should be based on what you guys say that you do.
And then we're going to compare the higher rolls, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, if he's not going to attack me, I'm just going to sit there and think until he does.
Well, yeah, you could just
roll
assess the situation.
Roll superior,
right? So the fight starts. Does Bastion say that he stands there and waits? Is that what you do? I mean, it's happening real time, right? You're like, so also what Palladium does, right? So if Palladium is also just standing there and waiting, then yeah, this could get boring pretty fast.
Sorry, I'm asking ChatGPT how I win this fight, and we'll see what it says.
That's cheating.
I'm just curious.
That's fantastic.
Connor, I asked Emperor. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, there's a mechanic for asking the sanctuary. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. I do have a strategy. I'm trying to think if game face makes sense here. Is this, can we consider Bastion a terrible enemy? What does that mean?
So it's also like completing a goal, right? I thought
it says when you commit yourself to save someone or defeat a terrible enemy, mark a condition and take +1 ongoing to all rolls in direct pursuit of that goal.
I'm not sure. I mean, I think it's a bit of a stretch because if you think about it, I think you did use game face at one point to I want to win this phase, right? So that might have been a bit of a stretch then, and I don't know if we should go with that this time because
I might have done it to save someone that time though.
I think that's true. I think you did actually. Yeah, I think it was to save mist. But I think the idea here is the game face is like, okay, this is too serious. I have to put on my game face.
That was my idea.
This is that moment.
Oh,
you think this is that moment? Well, I mean, right? It's like
probably
this
the hardest
isn't a serious situation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a tournament, right?
It's
the definition of game face is like the terrible enemy or commit yourself to saving someone, right?
I might not even want to.
Technically one of those things.
Yeah,
and also you have to take a condition to do that. So
yeah, exactly. I might not even want to do that. So okay.
We should discuss the ruling here for adult moves.
Yeah, what does it say again?
I mean,
they just win.
Well, no. So, like what David and I have talked about this a couple of times. So, our moves are active moves that affect the lesser versions. Are we going to rule that they affect the adult versions?
I don't know what that means.
So, like, there's an adult version of, the
wield your powers.
Yeah.
I would say no.
He's saying is, if
even though we've done it on.
Well, yeah, every other instance we've applied them.
Well, yes,
So,
except for the
Wait,
fact
hold
that
on.
these are adult moves, and the whole point
Yeah.
of the labels is that they're about like your weird, like fragile teenage emotional state. I feel like
sure, except for that makes them useless, right? Like most of what makes those our basic abilities good, and anything else we use good, is the abilities that buff them. And I don't know that there'd be much use to the adult moves.
And that
wasn't
way,
he saying-
conditions also don't affect it either. Then
Yeah.
what is it? Wait, what does the move say?
What do you mean?
I
the
was-
adult
I was
move
arguing
is
in-
wield your powers.
Yeah, I
I'm
was
not
arguing
sure
an
what we're talking about
opposite
yet.
from what you're thinking. I was saying that he wouldn't get minuses from the conditions to do those.
Right,
moves.
but we're wondering, say he has an ability that allows him to use a different stat. Does that apply?
Right.
In every other instance, we've
Sorry,
said yes to
I
anything.
misunderstood what you were saying. I would argue that
okay.
conditions should not
Oh.
affect those moves because of because they are adult moves, and that seems like the game is telling us being angry would not affect the adult version of because you're an adult when you do that.
That might get tricky. We'll have to see how.
What I'm saying is, if we say conditions don't apply, I don't think the active moves should apply. But if the active moves do apply, then
I
the
agree.
conditions should.
I agree.
apply.
I think the game wants us to not apply them to anything but the moves that it says specifically.
That's also
apply to.
true for all instances of it, but I don't think that makes.
We haven't
sense.
been playing that way.
Yeah.
But the way we haven't been playing it is the custom moves Connor has made himself for the classes.
We've done it with other things too.
Yeah,
Have we?
I think so.
Yeah.
What other things have we done it with? That's
maybe
the only thing that it hasn't really. There hasn't been an application for, which I think makes sense because the school moves are kid, kid things.
That's true. I guess
it would make sense that our active moves would apply.
Yeah, the only thing we've extended anything to is made up moves because otherwise they would be kind of. That's a good point. I don't know.
Connor's the boss, so
what are you trying to argue for again here?
What we're talking about.
Yeah, Jared.
So
can you explain
basically,
for the adult moves, we're not unleashing our powers or defending. We're wield your powers or stand up for something. So in conditions, it says hopeless is -2 to unleash your powers, but not -2 to wield your powers with grace.
I would say if. Oh well, I suppose does the adult move show up on your character sheet?
You have to add it like everything else.
Yeah.
Okay, I would say if you put is it just like you're customly adding it in?
Yeah, you have to do that for all of them.
Okay, Caleb, would you, or actually David, since you're not in this fight, would you look that up to see if there's a ruling on that, and then go ahead and tell us what you do so we can get the fight started?
I mean, I'm pretty sure the ruling. The thing is that the way the actual game does it is the moves are specific, right? The things that modify moves modify those moves. They don't modify anything else. But we've been ignoring that because that's kind of stupid. And so
if you're using a custom move, you always have.
We've only been ignoring it for the class moves.
Well, that's because it's the only other kind of moves we've had.
Yeah.
Well, no, with so like for this happened the other day with like the more than a shield, right? Jared's using more than a shield, but didn't want to take afraid because he'd get -2 to directly engaging a threat, even though he was using savior, right?
Yeah, but that move explicitly says you're doing the same thing except with this difference.
Yeah, so I would say, but I would say that basically every custom, every like extra move is that way, right? Like even David's or Leftwing's
but that's a difference,
move,
right? There's a difference between well, no, technically we shouldn't be giving that a penalty either. Again, I think that's dumb. But the thing is, all the penalties and modifiers, they name a move, right?
Right.
The only reason the one your example there is different is because you're actually still doing that move. You're just using a different stat. In every other instance, you are making a different move, so they should not apply. But that's
adult
dumb.
Moves are not doing that.
So the question we're saying is, are we extending because so far what we've done is house ruled that anything that affects them still affects them so that those rules matter more.
So I'm fine with the adult moves not being affected by conditions if we understand that in order for you to use an adult move, you have to have a really good reason narratively to do that. And I'm not just going to be like most of the time, you're still going to use unleash your powers. unless
yeah,
there's a very
but-
good reason for you to be using wield your powers instead.
So the
That's
main
kind of
question,
how I would rule that.
the main question that we're running into here, though, is say he has an ability that boosts in some way his ability to, or like say he has an ability that allows him to defy danger with freak, but instead he does the defeat a vulnerable foe move. Does he roll freak? That's, I think, the main thing we're coming up to.
Defeat a vulnerable foe.
That's the adult version of
Oh yeah,
fight,
no.
right?
I would say no. The adults' moves are going to have.
So we're going to have them separated from
their
modifiers.
own moves. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's just what we had to decide how we were going to do that, because
Sure.
we've been house ruling it otherwise.
So we can't. So you can't use danger to roll overwhelm of, or I'm sorry, freak to roll overwhelm a vulnerable foe.
Even if you could normally do that for defy danger.
Right.
Yeah.
And actually, now that I think about it, I don't know. We'll also have to see about the adult move thing as well, because the more I think about it, the more I think having conditions might be the only way that there's any type of difficulty this next half of the game, because you guys are so advanced already. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I'm not quite sure.
Okay.
We might go back and forth on that one a little bit, but for now, let's just jump into the fight.
Yeah,
okay. As long as we're consistent, we're like,
right.
If conditions don't affect it, then the active moves shouldn't affect it.
Right.
But if the conditions do affect it, the active moves should affect it.
I think I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that rolling for now.
Which one? The first or the second?
The way that you said was consistent.
Well, they're both
the way you agreed. No, the way you.
Well, so the reason he's confused is because so far we have consistently allowed modifiers to affect everything, even though they shouldn't. Yeah. But for adult moves, we're saying
adult moves are separate. Correct.
So that's why
adult moves are their own things. So
all right, that's what I was assuming.
You can't override those, and conditions don't affect them.
Yeah,
okay.
We'll go with that for now.
Yep.
I'm going to assess the situation.
So you're not assessing the situation. Bastian stands there and
I'm actually going to do a different move.
Right? I mean, that's kind of what you'd be doing, right? You're just standing and waiting to see what he does first. So, Palladium, what are you doing?
Yeah, that is a good question. Most of the strategies that I've been coming up with here are defensive ones.
ChatGPT's been coming up.
Well, I'm modifying them in my own head.
We both take a turn assessing the situation.
Yeah, most of the things that it has been responsive that I haven't ready to go here. I think though, based on my moves, I probably should just charge him. Or
what does the arena look like?
Trap.
Oh, good point. So it's
so there's heat
carbon
vents,
dioxide vents and heat vents.
My goodness.
Oh my gosh. It's just the same thing. It's
a lot of smoke everywhere.
Yeah, I think they're the same vents. It's heat vents that are also producing carbon dioxide. That's the most even way to do it, right? It's these vents that are producing both.
Just a lot of
There's just more of them, maybe.
Yeah. No, I think it's the same amount. So that way, it's still it's just a more controlled.
I clogged the vent so no heat's coming out, and neither of us get anything.
That's fine. I can absorb other types of energy faster.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna charge him. I think that's the best way to get this started, anyway.
Okay, so are you just?
I'm gonna go more to the shield.
What are you doing? Right.
I am charging him head on, heedless of any carbon.
So no matter what he tries to do, you're gonna try and gun for him.
Charging.
That makes sense.
But that only helps you. You just absorb anything I'd throw at you.
No, because the difference is this basically what this does is I get to use my savior, but on a miss, something worse happens because I'm escalating.
He's exposing
the stakes.
himself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay, I think charge
Bastian,
him head on
TV.
too and do more than his shield as well.
Oh gosh.
Yo, right. I forgot you have this move too.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's for sure what you could do, right? Is you both are just going at it, reckless abandon, no defense whatsoever, just full offense.
Yep, I like it. I like it.
That sounds like fun.
Amazing.
So we decided we were rolling, but we're both rolling.
You both roll, and whoever gets the highest, that's what takes effect, right?
Are you just punching me?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, I'm doing the drill. I'm doing the drill thing again because I think a drill would be good against armor.
Remind me what that looked like again.
And
basically he's funneling every piece of carbon on him, including his armor, into a drill. Carbon drill.
Yeah.
And I figure that's less kinetic energy for you to absorb than just punching you.
Sure. Yeah. All right. Here we go.
So we're both rolling savior.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
An 8.
An 8.
Oh my gosh.
I hate
Well,
this game.
All right. Well, I think that's it, guys. I think we're done.
Yes. Okay.
We both
take a powerful blow. That is the answer. That is the answer the game gives. Both take a powerful blow.
Well, so on a 7 and 9 for directly engage a threat, it says we trade blows, but then we get to pick one. Can we also do this?
Yeah, I think I'm fine with you guys both picking one. But if
we both choose to resist or avoid, does nothing happen? I guess that could be a viable option, right?
No, that sounds awful.
Force.
No, I hate that because that's going to prolong every single fight.
Yeah.
I want it right away. We are not going to have rolls that accomplish
that
nothing.
Negate. Okay, fair enough.
I take something from him. I take his helmet.
I suppose. I suppose that.
See, that's going to be a problem. Okay, so first of all, one thing to note. Is that something Bastion would actually do? Because I don't think Bastion has put together that's a problem, right? That's a secret. It's a secret that he has that lose condition, right?
Is it?
Also,
yes, it is a secret that he has that lose condition.
No. I think why I have that lose condition is a secret, but I do. Okay. Maybe he doesn't know that I'm going to lose if he takes my helmet off, but he at least would know enough because we've literally spent weeks and months together. He would know that I don't want people finding out about my identity. Like he
panicked when DJ almost took off his helmet.
So well, you can see him panicking though, right?
I'm almost positive that at some point Palladium had a conversation with Leftwing and Bastion and basically just said, there's a reason I have to keep my helmet on at all times. Like,
that's fine.
Right. He described himself like panicking, trying to keep his helmet on during the DJ fight.
Okay. Yeah. So. Yes, I understand. Yes, that is true. But he also had a helmet on, right? So it's hard to. I mean, it also the total plausible deniability there.
Well, yeah.
Of his armor is coming off. Yeah, I'd panic too if my armor was like my.
He
described
himself panicking, trying to keep it on, not picking up the other pieces, trying to put them on.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think that's a logical thing to do.
Up to you how you want to rule this, Connor.
It would be kind of lame if he just lost right now.
Yeah.
Well, and that's technically what would have to happen. There's no other answer to that. If you succeed at doing that, and the worst answer is we negate that, right? And we say nothing happens. Which sucks.
He takes some of my carbon and wears it as like a helmet, but he can't see as well.
I mean, if you guys both want to say you both take something from each other, I'm totally fine with you guys.
I don't know what I would take from him though. Like
he rips off my shirt because all my armor, and he wraps it around his head.
You could take his carbon from him, and he takes your armor from you. And
how do I take his carbon from him?
I'm not totally sure how either of those things would actually occur.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
even taking his helmet, you have to destroy it.
I think the answer should just be you roll to take a powerful blow. I think it's silly that you guys would choose one on that because if you choose resist or avoid their blows, nothing happens.
That's fair.
Or you get it. So I think on a tie like this, you both just roll to take a powerful blow, and that's the answer instead.
Given the options here,
what else more interesting could even happen? You both get team? Like what?
Oh, I thought,
get an opportunity.
I thought both things happened. We took a powerful blow, and we took something from each other.
Because you guys what would you choose that would be more interesting, right? Like and then you guys are both taking something from each other, or both roll it. It seems lame.
That's fine.
Yeah,
I think it's better you roll. So if one of you had succeeded, then one of you is doing one of those things. That makes more sense. I
spend team selfishly. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. We're take a powerful blow.
Luckily, I have a special move for this. So
you do.
It doesn't matter. Okay.
Well, what's your special move?
That's fine.
It's plus savior, isn't it? So you want to get low, don't you? Would you never give up, never surrender?
No, his special move is
my special move is the same as normal.
Yeah,
what's your special move?
Never give up, never surrender. That's what you're using, right? When you take a powerful blow from someone with far greater power than you, use this move instead of the basic move. First of all, is that true? Does he have far greater power than you? I would argue no.
What?
I mean, I don't think so.
Mechanically, Bastion does. According to the rules of the game, he has more advancements than I do. That's what I'm saying.
Well, it doesn't even necessarily mean he has more power.
Narratively, we're around the same level.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm going to rule that you guys are the same level and you have to roll the normal take a powerful blow move for the main reason that Caleb, that is bad for you. On a miss, you go down hard, but leave your opponent off balance and vulnerable. you didn't want to miss there.
Right. Yeah, he knows that.
So roll to take a powerful.
Yeah, it was bad.
I thought you were being.
He was saying that didn't go well.
You were being facetious. Okay,
Nope.
yeah. This message just been hidden.
Yeah, I don't think you understood what I was saying, but that's fine.
No, I did not.
Okay. Here we go. Normal move. Yay!
Stand strong. Double
That's
ones.
funny.
It's unbelievable.
Jeez, I'm gonna spend a doom track.
I got an advancement, guys.
Nice.
Let's go.
Yep.
I'm spending a doom track, and I'm gonna use I am not my body. When you take a powerful physical blow, you may roll as if you had 2 fewer conditions marked.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Nice.
Yep.
If you do
Nice.
on a 10 plus, you must choose to lose control of yourself in a terrible way.
This fight could be over so fast.
Also, I love the implication of this. Whatever's happening in this moment narratively, it's apparently Bastion having some kind of out of body, like transhumanism moment or something. I don't know. That's
All right,
hilarious.
so I'm gonna just unmark hopeless and angry real quick, so it's at 0. 8. Oh man.
Okay. So on a 7 to 9, so keep in mind if there isn't a good answer for this, you might not be able to. On a 7 to 9, choose one. You lash out verbally, provoke a teammate to foolhardy action, or take advantage of your influence to inflict a condition. You give ground, your opposition gets an opportunity. That's probably the best answer. You struggle past the pain, mark 2 conditions.
I need to open up the moves because you read too quick for me to comprehend.
Oh, sorry. Yep. My bad.
You can give him an advantage, get slapped, or deal damage to him, which I think is probably not a good option.
Is it peripheral moves? Where is this thing?
It's in basic moves. It's in the bottom right corner. Take a powerful blow.
I actually don't know what I want to take here.
This is Bastion choosing. Oh,
no, I'm talking about my advancement.
Okay.
Because I was hoping to use my moment of truth to lock Savior before I did any of the +1 to a label things that I have here.
Yeah.
Well, it shouldn't matter, right?
Well, it does matter. Okay, so one of my +1s is change your mask's label, add +1 to your mask's new label. My plan was to do that with Superior.
Yeah,
and then put it to 3.
First, yeah. Gotcha.
But I want to lock Savior first, just in case.
You also, Savior, but somebody like.
Unlikely someone's going to tell me I'm not a Savior. That's fair.
I mean, even if they do, you can just grow into your image of yourself at the end of the session, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I would just do it if I were you.
It's probably not a big deal, yeah.
I mean, if I don't think I can't choose the first one, right?
Yeah, I don't know that doing damage to Caleb for getting punched in the face makes a lot of sense.
We could say, it's just not a bad enough thing, right? I mean, because like provoke a teammate to foolhardy action, you're not doing that. Take advantage of your influence to inflict a condition. You could maybe do that. That's basically like instead your next move is based, but then it doesn't feel. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is I think then it doesn't feel fair.
Yeah,
because it's like, oh, I'm talking as my next move, but it's like, yeah, but the other thing is you just take 2 conditions, right? That's like the most unbalanced, like.
Yeah, I think giving him an advantage or taking conditions makes sense as like the option you're picking here.
Okay.
Not that you would ever choose to take 2 conditions.
Give ground, your opposition gets an opportunity.
So Caleb, if you have an answer to that, that doesn't seem too OP. I'm fine with that. Otherwise, I'll try and come up with something.
An opportunity.
Yeah.
I would be happy to. So Bastion is taking a powerful blow here.
Yep.
And I would like to, his move that he tried to do there or use there also was pushing him towards like losing control of his powers, right? Even though it didn't happen. That was what the move was going to make him do if he had like gotten too high on the roll.
Yes. We're also both attacking recklessly, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I'd like to think that Bastion just starts going wild with his powers. And that's kind of what Palladium wanted him to do. I want him, because I want to use Dangerous Web. Basically, I want him to start trying to trap me in carbon constructs or do something like that. Up to you. I don't know exactly what you would try, Bastion, but I want him to just start going crazy with carbon.
Well, so maybe he's reckless, right? I mean, he's attacking you with carbon. He's throwing it at you. He's sending barrages, but he's being reckless with it. I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
So what's happening?
So basically,
I'd like to
Caleb
say
is
this.
saying,
Probably the easiest way to do this is doing.
And like basically, like, what's the mechanical effect you want to get out of it?
Caleb is trying to say he wants to roll the trap move, and
Yeah.
I would say, see, that's the thing.
the opportunity
It's like,
I want, right?
yeah, that's the opportunity you get. So then Jared isn't then doing something on his own. You're getting an opportunity to make a roll that he can roll to defend against, but not a roll to try and accomplish something on his own. Does that seem fair?
I would say so. Yeah.
Because I mean, again, the other option is you take two conditions. So I feel like that's even still like more lenient. So I would say that makes sense. So yeah, if you want to say, yeah, basically, Jared, he's saying you're distracted, and he gets the opportunity to try his trap thing.
Okay.
And not unhindered, but like you don't get to make I guess
you have to respond to me.
There's a turn here that you don't have quote agency for.
You have to respond to what I'm doing.
Yes.
Okay.
Can you help me figure something out here real quick? I'm trying to think of like what Palladium's real strategy. Yeah, what would the trap be? What his strategy would be? One of the things that we discussed early on in the game is that Palladium can do kinetic pretty well. Like he can absorb people just banging him up a bunch.
Yeah.
But actual like sound waves and like making vibrations go through the air is something that he's not as good at.
Yeah, but that's not happening, right? I would say that you should go with something that because also he's attacking you with kinetic, right? And there's heat vents around. There's way more powerful sources that you could use to.
Yeah, the reason I asked
make a trap
is because ChatGPT reminded me that carbon is typically the things that are made out of carbon. They're hard and like rigid, which means they're fragile. Again, they're vulnerable to like sound waves and vibration. Right.
Vulnerable to thunder.
Yeah, weakness to thunder damage.
Yeah. Even like diamond, right? Like that's the thing that's easy to do stuff against it is sound waves and vibration. So maybe I'm thinking maybe I try to take a playbook out of Thunder, try to take a play out of Thunder's book and try to do something like Thunder would do it. Like I'm absorbing this kinetic, like I'm doing the normal thing where, and I have to be smart about this, which is maybe why there's an opportunity here. Bastion is being reckless with his carbon, and I am being very smart to take the blows in just the right way to store up kinetic energy without him realizing that's what I'm doing, right?
Sure.
Because he would see that coming if he was in his right mind and if I wasn't being careful about it. But I let him beat me up for a bit, and then maybe he even like I'm imagining he's like trapping me in a carbon cage or using some big pillar of carbon or something like that. Then I just like slam a fist down into and then vibrate the atoms until it just goes to dust, right? And then I like get an opportunity to just like that's kind of what I'm imagining, right? I would roll then Dangerous Web.
So basically, your goal here is Dangerous Web to obliterate
I want to make him
his
think.
carbon.
Yeah, I want to make him think that he's winning and then obliterate all of his carbon and make it all dust. And so and then I get him. Then that's the trap. So then he has to regather the carbon again before he can like attack me again.
I think that sounds fine. I don't think it should be a sound wave thing necessarily, though. I think you should just use kinetic.
Well, yeah, I mean, technically, if he just puts his hand against it and just puts kinetic energy into it, that's pretty much
thunder
the same.
damage isn't necessarily
anyway.
sound. It could be like vibration.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, all sound is vibration.
Sure. I wanted to frame it like
I like how Thunder became her own Pokemon type.
I wanted to frame it like Thunder would do it. Just because that seems like the sort of thing.
Like the flavor of how it. How it displays is like you're doing.
I'm not
Thunder.
I'm not Black Panther right now. I'm
right.
Yeah.
So are you rolling danger to attack me?
No, I'm
rolling
doing
Dangerous Web,
which gives me opportunities, like it gives me +1s or whatever to do something else.
Okay, so you're setting up a +1.
Yeah, so Dangerous Web. When you reveal a trap you've left for someone using your powers, roll plus your mask's label. On a hit, your opponent trips into it, and you get an opening or opportunity against them. On a 10+, take +1 forward to pursuing it. So the opportunity that I got before was now I get to set up a trap. This opportunity is going to be you have to regather your carbon before you can attack me again.
I'm fine with that as long as Jared is.
That makes sense?
What do you mean by regather?
As in, like, so I'm going to like disintegrate it to dust, so you'll have to like consolidate it again.
Okay.
So it'd be a roll, right? You'd have to make an action to do something to
You could burn, maybe.
Either or use it in the or just be forced to use it in the form it's in.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna roll savior then. Yeah.
Ooh. Okay. I think Bastian, you are rolling to defend from this.
Okay.
Well, does that make sense? Is he rolling to defend his carbon?
Does it make sense? Doesn't it make sense that I just make the roll here and he doesn't have he can't roll anything right in this moment just because that was an opportunity I got?
As long as Jared's okay. Well, I actually not even if you're not okay with it. I think that is a fair. Instead of taking two conditions, this is the concept. Yeah. We're still. Right. I still feel like this is quote unquote.
That's the sort of thing
going easy in terms of This is not equivalent to taking
wants from like opportunities and stuff. It's like you get a moment to act and they can't respond to you. Like you get to do something.
Yeah.
You get to push the narrative along. Okay, cool. So I get a +1 forward to pursuing it. So now I would be like his carbon is disintegrated. Like I wrote to shreds, and now I'm just going to try to attack him, and he has to defend or whatever else you need to do. Whatever else you're going to do with your carbon.
Go ahead and explain how you're going to attack him, and then Bastian, explain what you're going to do next.
I'm just doing more than a shield again. Right? I'm punching. Diving into punch. Even if he's going to like barrage me with the carbon dust.
I'm going to
I get a +1.
It doesn't really make sense to be able. I guess just defend.
I mean that's up to you. You can decide what you want to do. I mean, if you're
saying unleash your powers might make more sense.
Yeah.
Well, you just are coming to punch me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna defend.
Okay.
I think he's pretending to like charge, basically just do the same thing last time that they did. You were charging head on, and then at like the last second, he's just gonna like do like a slide tackle between your legs and like avoid it.
Maybe you could like pull the smoke around and try and make a smoke screen and like make it so it's hard to see you.
Hey, real quick, defend actually gives us things to do here. For PC threats on a hit, give them -2 to their roll. On a 7 and 9, you expose yourself to cost, retribution, or judgment.
Oh, that's right.
Wait, what?
Really? I've never read that.
Yep. Hilarious. That's what it says at the bottom of defend here.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm rolling that.
Yeah, that's defend, right? Like, there you go.
Interesting.
That's what the game wants us to do.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, I got a 9.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's go,
nice.
big.
Full hit. So, on more than a shield. So, okay. So here's the thing, though, is for PC threats on a hit, give them -2 to their roll. On a 7 to 9, you expose yourself to cost, retribution, or judgment. So on a hit, you get them -2 to their roll.
Here's
he
what
still gets a 7,
happens.
right?
Here's what happens.
Okay.
So I'm doing the same thing, but at the very last second before he does the slide tackle, he just yells "pocket sand."
Pocket
throws
sand,
throws like a handful of like carbon dust into your visor and then like slides underneath you.
Okay, so just to clarify though, so what happened here then is Bastian is responding, giving him a -2 to his roll, but he still succeeds with the 7.
Yeah, see, the problem is if we're using defend, then our custom thing isn't going to work.
Exactly.
If that's how we're using it, then it's not going to work that way because if you succeed, then
right. So we should decide right now.
Defend
hold up 1 second. Let's clarify. So the first move that was made was a lot of fun. We could just say that was a one-off. You guys both wanted to do the same thing at the same time, so we just let that happen. Now we could be okay, you're taking turns making rolls and defending against them.
I personally think that works better.
I thought what we had decided was if we both have a success.
Yep.
Or if we're both at the same tier of success.
Right.
We go with who has the higher roll. The only reason we both took a powerful blow is because we both rolled 8.
Right. The problem is that
he got a success, but I got a full success.
Right.
So we'd go with my thing over his.
Yeah, but the problem is that your thing makes his roll lower. That's what
Yeah.
success does. So it
So
doesn't.
Right. So I'm fine
If
with
a defense
saying
wins against an attack, the
Right.
attack doesn't go through.
that's what we have to decide. I'm
Yeah.
fine with either one of these options. We should just decide what we want to do.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I don't mind.
I think that's the only thing that makes sense, and it makes defense a little bit more powerful.
Again, I was thinking that the best way to do this is just go off vibes. I think the vibes in this moment are he defends against me. That's what happens. There you go.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that makes sense too.
And I think if
that sounds more fun.
I think if you pick the same thing, we can do it the way we did before, right? If you say we both say I punch each other, then it's just who rolls higher.
Right.
And if you are defending because you can't do anything else, then yeah, I think that makes sense.
I'd like to think that like your pocket sand is not just like throwing carbon dust in my face, because that really wouldn't do anything. I literally wearing shard plate, but like you're manipulating the carbon and just going underneath my helmet and like actually going into my face, like actually in my face for a second, right? And then I have to like vent it out.
Oh, sure, I see.
Right?
I thought you were like, yeah, he succeeded on his roll, so he does damage to me, and I was like, no. But no, you're just adding flavor.
If he throws carbon dust at my visor, it does nothing. So, but he has carbon manipulation, so I'm assuming he can have it go into the cracks, right?
Like digs into all the cracks.
So again, we're at both have agency. Decide what you want to do next. Bastian has avoided the attack.
So question.
Yep.
Was that -2 for the roll he just rolled, or is it for his next roll?
We're not doing that. So instead, you bypass the roll, right? He doesn't do anything to you. You succeeded at defending yourself.
Yep. So I do.
But I still get to do the normal defend thing, right?
No, because that was just for NPCs. Well, it says explicitly for
if
NPCs.
we do the normal defend thing, then you guys are just going to heal the whole fight. It's never
I don't think we should do that.
Right? I mean...
Yep. I agree.
Okay.
I had thought about that as well when we talked about this. I was like, people use defense.
So I do need to actually choose my advancement still. Real quick, if I choose, I'm thinking I'm going to choose the other +1 thing, which is someone permanently loses influence over you. Add +1 to a label, and I was going to add to freak because I want to get better with my powers. Anyway, that was one of the other things I wanted to do. I just don't know who I would lose influence over. Does anyone have an idea? Would that make sense for playing right now?
Left wing also chose that ability and hasn't
chosen one yet.
Okay. I'm fine with you deciding later.
Okay, sounds good.
Up to you guys.
Yep, I'll do that then.
So just to clarify, what did we decide? Did Jared gets a 10+? Does that mean he chooses something on the NPC thing?
No.
So it's just he succeeded at defending himself. So
David was mentioning that like you can heal conditions that way, and that's a very bad precedent.
That's true too. Yeah, because then we're gonna draw out this fight super long then too.
And we're not doing the -2.
Correct.
No, at least for that roll, it didn't make any sense.
Yeah. You got higher than him.
We just need to go off vibes and keep moving.
Yeah. Yep.
I am going to use the carbon in the form that it's in currently, so Caleb doesn't get his +1. And I'm just gonna surround it around him and just try to freeze the entire surrounding around him by stopping the molecular motion of the carbon.
So like you're putting a cloud of carbon around me and then making all the carbon stay stationary, so I can't move through it.
No, I'm literally freezing it by stopping slowing down the molecular motion. Yeah, basically trying to dissipate all of your energy.
I'm gonna say he does get the +1 though, because it's a +1 on acting on the.
No, Connor. I already got his +1 forward. I already used it. I got +1 one time.
Oh,
so it doesn't
have to worry about that.
And I'm wielding my powers with grace.
That makes sense. Yeah. I'm trying to think of how I would counter this.
Don't lose, otherwise he just wins instantly.
That is true.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say maybe let's not do that yet.
Okay. No, I'm fine with it.
Okay.
This is how I expected it to go. Bastion, I personally believe that Bastion is way ahead of Palladium in power level.
Okay, sure.
So this is how I expected it to go. I want to try, right? But he has the move. He should be able to use it.
Okay.
I don't know. I could just roll to like unleash my powers.
You could just try and heat it, right? You could just try and unleash a bunch of heat. Yeah.
Just I only need to do it long enough that he can't entrap me in the freezing cloud, right? Yeah, okay. Yep. I'll just do that. I'll unleash my powers. So that's what I'm rolling.
Okay. I'm gonna uncheck hopeless while I roll this, and then I'll recheck it.
We got a 10.
Yep, that makes sense. Okay, you got a 10?
You could also probably just give yourself a +2.
Let's go, baby.
There you go.
Like modifier.
Oh, yeah,
All right, what does it say then?
13.
What does it say on the move?
Sorry.
Yeah.
With the full hit.
Wield your powers. When you wield your powers with precision or grace, roll on a freak. On a +10, you choose one. Neutralize an opponent or threat, at least for now.
It actually says on a 10+, choose 2. On a hit, choose
2.
1. So take hold of something vulnerable to you, create something useful from your environment, which is literally what you're doing, and neutralize an opponent or threat, at least for now.
So it does say at least for now. I don't think that takes me out of the fight. It just means I'm stuck in the carbon cloud.
I mean, you're neutralized.
Speaking, it does, right? So especially within the context of the tournament, right?
Right.
If you're neutralizing a threat, I mean, they have to pull you out, right? And
but
especially
it says
like given what he's doing. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about then what that would look like. Do you roll to take a powerful blow? Do you take two conditions?
I was imagining that I'm stuck, right? Maybe I do take maybe rolling to take a powerful blow might make sense. Either way, I was imagining like we have Iron Man moment where like I'm like, like frozen, like Jarvis, you got anything? Like like.
So if that's true though, then we're setting that precedent for in the future if when he's using this wield precision or grace thing, like what's the mechanical effect if not a direct
but we're not in a
right?
tournament when we're just fighting regularly. Either way, it does say at least for now.
What he means is that we're not defeating an opponent with it in the future either if we're not doing it now.
Right, but what I'm saying is it's slightly different when I don't know, it feels weird to me because the tournament is not an actual fight. Well, I guess you're right though, because the whole point of Four Pulse's ability is like if they're going to be neutralized, then you.
Yeah, if anything, I would say it would be more likely to work here than other places, but I don't know.
Right.
Also, can you hear my fan?
No.
All right. But we should probably decide anyways, maybe later, but we should probably just look at all the adult moves and decide what we're going to do with them because they're all a little. I don't really like any of them. I'm not really sure how any of them are going to work. I'm a little
afraid of all of them too. Yeah, as the GM, I'm afraid of every single one.
Just real quick, as like an instinctual thing. What do you think at least for now means, Connor? Well, like how would you roll?
So the one time that we did use this in the game was Dragon defeating Tempest. Mm-hmm. Dragon defeated Tempest using this ability. He wasn't killed.
Pulled him out.
And then Countess pulled him out and then he came back out. But even then, he didn't get to actually do or accomplish anything because he was still neutralized. Nobody helped him. Nobody healed him. Right. So if you're neutralized, there's nobody to help you get out of it. You're just neutralized. Right.
I kind of assumed it meant like you beat the bad guy, but he'll come back. Right. Like, I assumed it was a cop out so that the villains don't die.
I'm just curious. I guess maybe it's the way Bastion described it. I don't know how freezing a cloud around me would actually mean that Four Pulse takes me out. I guess is the point.
Well, I mean, if being frozen kills you.
I mean, can you? I guess maybe I was imagining the dust particles being further together than you were imagining them.
So what happens when if you cool something? It cools everything else around it because heat goes towards the colder thing. So if you're constantly cooling something, like all the carbon around, if there's just a cloud of carbon, not just the carbon will be cold, everything else in that space will
it'll draw the
be constantly getting
okay
until absolutely
okay.
It just depends on how fast you can.
I'm fine with that then. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
I'm a big nerd for the science stuff, and I'm sure
I like the idea that like
watch us love science as well.
I do think that like whatever Bastion does, like the way you described it, Bastion doesn't immediately take Palladium out of the fight with one blow, but what ends up happening is you freeze me, and as I get like my armor gets colder and colder, and I'm like, like I have that moment of panic, and I'm figuring out like trying to figure out what to do, but no matter what I do, Bastion eventually like Four Pulse just takes me out because I'm gonna freeze to death basically.
Yeah. So it's not like I agree.
Right, because what I originally was imagining, like, wait, how does this like just instantly take me out? But it doesn't need to instantly take me out, but it inevitably takes me out.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's fine with me. Yeah, I think probably what we get is that like moment of like, okay, Armor, what do we got? What do we got? And Armor's like, sorry, got nothing. Like we tried with our heat and we got nothing left. And at that point, I just say, good show, Bastion. Good show. and then I teleport away.
I'm
Again, I expected to
so
lose this
glad
fight.
that worked. That's the only idea I had.
So okay, two things. One, I loved that fight. That was great. Two, I love the answer, and I'm glad that didn't take too long.
Honestly, the longest part of it was rules discussions. The fight itself was pretty short.
Yes.
I'm glad we got the rules.
Yeah, it was important
down,
to decide that. It just that was the bulk of the
Because we're all
going
to be unlocking stuff soon.
And I'm glad the first move was you guys both doing like a classic. We come by like attack both head on. The fight still followed the natural pattern of Palladium has the upper hand. Palladium has the upper hand again, and then actually just freezes him. I love that. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I like the idea.
I'm very glad that it's Palladium as the first player character out, because you have so much more to do on the sidelines of this tournament than anybody else.
I'm glad.
But almost being assassinated wasn't enough.
I pretty much
assumed
that. I wanted to actually try to get Palladium to the end, but I pretty much knew from the beginning that Palladium was not going to be the one at the end of this tournament. I just assumed it.
I shake your hand. I'm like, they're off from my hand.
Yeah, I shake it.
I'm not really sure I understood what
shivering.
That was a tough one.
Scrubbing ice out of my armor.
I wonder how, I bet everybody onlooking is like...
Left wing comes over, he's like, so what happened exactly? You kind of just stopped moving and then it was over?
Yeah, well, I think I was about to get frostbite.
Oh. I wasn't aware you could, do it like that. That's impressive.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure.
Scary.
Now, you know what? I think Palladium's smart. He goes to a private school. I think he says, he just stopped molecular motion in the atoms. And
as a note, I forgot to mention this before. Everybody that's out of the fight now, when they got to the final four, they sent them all down to the stands.
Wow. Disrespect.
Yeah, it's a final four, and now everybody's just watching from the stands. So it's literally just you four up there.
I can't tell Quantum Quill that I avenged her honor.
I think it'd be fine if maybe leave it for later.
Later, okay.
Or maybe after you win the fight, you do the look at Quantum Quill and do some sort of, I don't know,
skywriting.
Yeah. Well, you could. I suppose the line is very particular, but sorry, I'm trying to think of a way that makes sense. I want everybody to be down there and not bulk up and that makes perfect sense. Everybody's now it's just the final four. You guys get some quietness to yourself, and I want interactions of them down there too.
Okay.
Yeah, so I basically just
is all I heard.
I just congratulate.
Quantum Quill has got to stay quiet. All the women have to stay quiet.
Wow.
Finally.
Yeah, that's right.
Finally, there's peace and quiet in this box.
We can finally get some stuff done. Jeez.
Yeah, I congratulate you, Bastion, and just generally seem happy about the way the whole tournament went. Palladium is in a good mood.
Yeah,
as he salutes y'all and heads out.
I
don't know if he goes and. I don't know if he goes and sits in the sand. Oh yeah, should we?
Yeah, get some more potential.
I think
I don't know what I need to do.
I think what's her name? I think Thunder and Mist go down to the stands as well. I think you guys just noticed this happening. They were both in the med bay basically. Mist is getting enough control of her power now, where she's not turning into skin. Yeah, and but she wasn't naked before. But she was on the verge, so now she's just in control enough that she's down there with you guys, down there with the rest of the teammates, and so is Thunder.
On the note of cheesing XP, you do have celebration moves. I don't know what they do, but they may be an appropriate time for it.
Never hit any of these.
Yeah, I don't know.
These do.
I don't know.
Oh, they're on our playbooks, aren't they?
Yeah, they're at the bottom of the sheet, I think, in the middle-ish.
When you share a triumphant celebration with someone, ask them if they see you as the person wearing the mask or the person. Oh, you have different ones for each person.
Yeah, they're all.
Yeah,
they're all very similar.
If the former, man, we could have been doing this a bunch of times.
Yeah, probably. I don't remember thinking it was super worth it because I wasn't that excited about it when I read it, but
yeah. I think we should just keep going actually. So
mine's pretty good though. I need to make sure to do that.
In fact, I have it hidden.
I was just going to say Palladium probably does not go sit in the stands. I don't know where I would go, but like I'm still in I can't like take off my armor and be a normal person. So, well, maybe I can.
First of all, you can do that. You can go sit by your sister.
And I can just pretend I showed up just now.
Yep.
That's probably what I do, actually.
Sorry, it was late. I was in a fight.
I got locked in a freezer.
Keep in mind that would be super suspicious.
Yeah.
But I have a different interaction that'll be more. Yeah, maybe leave that for later. I think you'll probably like my answer better later.
Yeah, you let me know what whenever you want to bring up a new scene for me, and we can talk about what I've been doing in the meantime.
Okay. So left wing. So do you go down with emoticon?
With him?
Yeah. You guys are both called down at the same time.
Oh yeah, I guess.
You guys stagger. It's just like an uncomfortable walk.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I'm not gonna like make an effort to walk next to him.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think it's cold and silent.
Yeah.
And you guys get down to there, and I think maybe I haven't had like a I think teachers have always like told you to go down. I think maybe Weightless escorts you guys down this time. And like kind of like as soon as you guys are like out into this the stadium, he lets you go and goes back up. But I think you guys very much so both pick up on the fact that not only one, he's doing that just because it's you guys, but two, he's doing that as like a just so you know I'm here. Remember the things that I've said to you. Yeah, don't. Yeah,
I had a moment at work where I was like, if this was a different kind of game, it wasn't just if we weren't just kids, I would totally steal 4 Porcel's power and kill him. But obviously that's not going to happen. There's nowhere near that. But like there's an alternate universe where I get to the end and I put the taser on his head and I steal 4 Porcel's power. And electrocute him until he dies.
That's so funny. Okay.
I just had that. I was like, I could steal 4 Porcel's power, and then they wouldn't be able to save anybody.
Yep. Well, to be fair, if you did that and he stopped being able to, right? I was going to say if you stole full Porcel's power, he'd probably just be like, I can't see anything. Pull everybody out.
Right. But, yeah. And I mean, they'd be watching me fight him, right? Probably. Right. But it would have to be like that. Anyways.
Yeah. Anyway. So you guys stand on your opposite ends. It's the architect has made the new arena, right? It's metallic plating, like more towards like the center third, probably. And then yours is waifu statues or waifu cutouts or whatever around the stadium.
At this point, I can't pretend like they were statues thing anymore.
And I think we get a shot of Iceblade from the stands, and his eyes are still like wide, and he's just like staring at him.
Still trying to figure it out.
Yeah. And then I think we get a shot of Mist too, and then we think maybe she's like whispering under her breath, like, "Come on." And the fight starts, and we 100% get the song Grudge by Niani as the beginning of this fight. I didn't even send it.
Oh, okay.
Because I wasn't even sure we'd get this fight for sure.
Oh, sure.
Or no, I was sure. Yeah. No, I was sure we'd get this fight.
It sounds like an appropriate.
Yeah. Well, I knew if I sent it to you guys, it would spoil it, right?
I was already pretty sure.
Yeah. Okay. Fight starts.
Great.
What happens?
I think the first thing I need to do is assess the situation, right? Because I know that he obviously can only steal one of his powers at a time.
Yep.
And I think I just need to play.
Just as a heads up, if you're going to do anything of like trying to get an idea of his emotional state, that would be Pierce the Mask.
No, I mean, if I'm going to do anything with his emotional state, it'll be trying to rig it.
Right.
Which,
you could just do that too.
Last time I fought,
be the first thing you do.
Right. Last time I fought him, if I made him mad and then I stole anger and he didn't get anything else, right? Like, okay. Yeah. I don't have a line that would make him mad. I'm trying to think of what I would say. I don't know. I just don't feel like I have a control of it yet enough to do any of those things. I think the first thing he wants to do is, I think he has to play the long game here.
I think Left Wing's angry, right? I mean, I think there's a sense of this fight that isn't talk and banter. You guys have said all the crap already. You both just hate each other.
Yeah.
Right? It's just a fist fight.
Yeah.
Also, if I can describe one thing happening before we get into like the roles, I think it'd be a really cool like cinematic sequence if the beginning of the fight is you both just running at each other, him like flying towards you and you running towards him, and you keep swapping places. And then you guys connect fists and you're still swapping places. And we just get like this spin around shot of you both just like wailing on each other and it just keeps swapping. It's just like super disorienting.
Sounds good. So I think what happens is the first thing that happens is they square off and Left Wing says, all right, Emoticon, it's the hero versus the villain. Let's see if that silver spoon can carry you to the end.
Yeah.
And then we get that whole thing, right? We just punch the crap out of each other. And then and I think like Left Wing when he's doing this is I mean, obviously he'd take any shot he got to try and like hurt him, but he just has a lot of dangerous elements here. And I need to, I think, form a game plan first.
Sure. Yeah.
So I think Left Wing's mainly trying to assess the situation and play carefully. Like you said, I'm teleporting around and like, swapping places, avoiding the plates and stuff. But I think that is his attempt to, those are his testing blows, right? He's trying to figure out how to do this because I don't know. I mean, he was doing some weird crap with it earlier, and I'm worried that maybe just making him mad and stealing it won't be enough. I might not be able to, I don't want to rely on that trick again if I don't have to. So
yeah, that's true. And I think, I'll e-roll this as a situation first, if that's what you're doing.
Okay.
I was going to mention something to you, but that might be one of the answers you get.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Let me just spend 6 minutes scrolling through while I remember what I'm doing. Here it is. Okay. I literally scrolled up and down my sheet like 4 times. Like, what am I doing it on? Where's the button? I don't know. Hey.
We'll hit on a 10 plus, ask 2 on take +1 while acting on the answers.
Hold on. This is perfect. Dude, I literally have an answer to this question from Criminal Mind is how could I best infuriate or provoke?
Yes.
You or the blank. So I'm definitely going to pick that one.
Okay.
How many questions do I get? 3 on a full hit, right?
3. No, it's 2.
It's 2?
Pierce the mask is 3.
Oh.
Assess situation is 2.
Weird. Okay. What here can I use to blank? Who's the biggest threat? Who's the greatest danger? Who's the most vulnerable? I don't know. I feel like I always pick how could we best end this quickly, but it's just such a cop-out question. I don't know. I mean, I guess what's the best way? I have what's the best way in/pass. I don't know. Got some combination of those. What is my best strategy here? I guess, right? Shoot.
I'm not sure what you're asking. I guess which question are you asking first?
How can I best infuriate or provoke? I guess we'll start with that one.
Yeah, I think the obvious answer is either mentioning something about Countess, or if you really wanted to go nasty, it'd be mentioning something about Heartbeat, right?
Mm-hmm.
That would be the most like the easiest, most obvious way. But I will say that mentioning something about Heartbeat is probably the more infuriating way, because you guys have already talked about Countess. He already probably is like, whatever, I don't care what you have to say about it.
I have a line that is sort of indirect about it that I think I'll use. I was planning to use it later, but so I think that's good to know that when I do that, I guess I'll get a +1. Is that the idea?
Yeah, and you don't have to do that right away.
Yeah,
I mean, it could be
just when you use that information. Yeah. And then the other one is what's my best way in/past, I guess, or like how to best end this quickly. Maybe makes more sense, but basically like a fighting strategy, right? Just I want to get +1s when we fight, or do whatever it is.
I mean, the obvious answer still, I think, is you get him into one emotion and you force him to fight without powers, right? Okay. I mean, otherwise, like using your teleporting skills is also like super helpful, and you've done that effectively against him before.
Yeah.
But if you're talking about how can we best end this quickly,
yeah,
it is kind of doing those things.
Here's my other question, not in this, not from this move, but we've discussed another way that Leftwing might sort of extend his power. But I just did the like stealing bigger souls things. So is this too early? Because I was considering using my moment of truth to sort of push that towards that. That would be very beneficial for somebody with multiple powers. If you know what I'm referring to.
I think I know what you're referring to. I thought you meant the teleporting part.
Sorry.
I guess my understanding of the first moment of truth that you were going to have was to have an upgraded what's it called? Like a upgraded teleporting type of situation, which I think makes more.
But I kind of already did that is the thing. Like that was my original plan, but like I can already sort of like cheat the size, right? Which was my plan, was to use it to get that. But I kind of already can do that, right? Like we've kind of narratively. Do you know what I mean? That's why when that originally happened, I was like, can I do that now? I don't have my moment of truth, and I thought I was going to use that to get it.
I think I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about.
So remember we talked about how maybe I could split my own soul into multiple pieces and then steal multiple powers.
Yes.
So my question is,
that should be your second moment of truth.
Yeah. Okay. I was just wondering if it was too early for me to develop something new by using this moment of truth here.
Yeah, and I don't think. I think you could definitely use your moment of truth here. I don't think that should be this moment of truth. That's my personal opinion, though. I think that is something we should foreshadow a lot more before we get to that.
Yeah, I thought so too. It just felt like perfect for somebody with 5 powers. I could just steal all of them.
Right.
So that's why I thought maybe that would be a way for it to make sense. But that's all right. I think we can go this direction instead. I did just sort of have like a big. I don't know really to do narratively with this moment of truth then, I guess, but we'll see.
I'll give you a good opportunity for it.
Okay, that's fair. All right. Sorry, I just wanted to check about that. So I don't remember where we're at here. Oh, so yeah, okay. We've done our testing blows and all right. Trying to think. See, I guess maybe I'll try to. I don't know if it makes a difference. Does it matter if I use can I use Are You Watching Closely, my trick move, to get him to instead of provoke? You know what I mean?
And what would your goal be with the trick?
To get him to only have 1 power, right? To make him angry.
No, I think provoke is the more clear, definitive answer. If we read it right, it's when you provoke someone susceptible to your words, say what you're trying to get them to do and roll plus superior. That's for sure what you're doing. You're provoking him in the most strictest definition sense.
Yeah.
That was an awful sentence. The most strictest definition sense. We'll forget that happened. Cut that out in post, Caleb.
Yeah, just earmark this in the audio.
Yeah.
All right. I'll just roll that.
Yeah, all of our conversations about rules and stuff, I would have a lot of editing to do if that was the standard we were taking.
Right. Yeah, after we think this. Sorry. So the line I made up was more about trying to was leading up to stealing his powers. So I'm trying to figure out how to. I don't know. I think maybe first I just want to fight him for a little bit.
Yeah, I honestly, I think I was just about to honestly suggest that you just both you should just. I was going to say you both should roll danger because I'm in the PvP mode.
Right,
but I think you should just roll danger. Right? I think that's already we gave that narrative trigger.
Yeah, we were also fighting.
And I think it makes perfect sense that that's what you would do first. You just want to wail on each other.
Yeah, we want to beat each other up, right? Yeah. I think that makes the most sense. Well, and I guess I'll roll first and see how it goes. Nice. So I think we see
nice. Yeah.
Every time, I think it's clear that Leftwing has considered this a lot, right? Every time that
he's fantasized about fighting him before.
Yeah, he's done this a bunch of times in his head, right? When he's, I think maybe we get another shot because I've done this a few times of going back to the martial arts training they were doing, and every time he's fighting, so far every time I've seen it, he's been fighting either
Weightless or Doomseer.
Doomseer, thank you, or Weightless. And I think we see that again, but then we sort of see it through his eyes, and they morph into
it's
emoticon.
always
He's just imagining beating the crap out of emoticon every time he fights them, right?
Yes, I love that. That's
and
so
like
good.
he takes flight in, and immediately Lefting will steal it, and he'll drop down, and then he'll put Angry in, and he'll start to do the ice, and they'll swap places. So he's just spraying ice in the back, and like he just has an answer for each of his things because he's thought about it so much.
Yep.
Except maybe invisibility. I don't know what the answer to that is. But cool.
So on a 10 plus, you choose 2, right? So I assume you're resisting or avoiding their blows. I mean, that's obviously sort of what you describe. But then take something from them, create an opportunity for your allies, impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition.
I want to impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition.
And
I think
interesting.
I think what I do is like the moment that I do damage to him here, right? Like sort of spraying off, is like I can he moves over one of the plates, and I can tell he's luring me there, right, to try and electrocute me.
Yeah.
And so I like, well, how does his static electricity power work? Sorry, I don't know that I've actually seen him use it.
He becomes electrically charged. It's I haven't fully defined it.
Okay.
On purpose, I think, because it's unclear exactly what's happening, but he's done a lot of different things with it.
All right. So yeah, Left Wing intentionally like moves onto the plate with him, but just as he does, he takes his electrical power. And then instead of stepping on the plate, he puts his hand on it and tasers the plate.
Yeah.
So it electrocutes emoticon, right?
Yeah.
Basically, I'm using his own trap against him.
Yeah. And you probably don't even notice this, but well, you don't even notice this. I won't even say it. Yeah.
What? Even with my success situation, I don't notice it. All right.
Oh, that's true. You don't even have angry marked as a condition. What you like? You're in the heat of the moment, so maybe you only like notice this in retrospect, maybe, or something.
Sure.
But and you've also upgraded in how easy it is for you to take people's powers, those types of things.
Right.
But his orbs are definitely more weighty right now.
Sure.
And the answer is right. His emotions are amped, right?
Right. That makes sense.
And so like you're taking that out, but it's like that's you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. And I think so I tase him basically, and I go to like punch him in the face, and I think he recovers enough to like to fly back, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I think we sort of get the standoff moment, right?
Yeah.
And I say, I look at him and I just shake my head, and I'm like, how many powers does he have? Sorry.
5.
Okay. And I'm like,
until he unlocks Aroused.
It's my least favorite joke in the whole game, I think.
Which might happen this battle. We don't know.
Yeah, we'll find. We're gonna find out his which party or which team he plays for here. But I did impress, surprise, or frighten him, so we'll see. Anyways, I
have a really good answer for that actually.
No, I meant maybe I impressed him, and
no, I have a better. I am not even acknowledging the joke. It's a terrible joke.
I see. All right. He shakes his head. He says, "The whole world grovels at your feet. They lick your boots because of who your dad was. You got 5 powers. Everything was handed to you. How is this fight not over yet?" And then I'm just like egging him on, right? Trying to do the.
So you go ahead and roll provoke for sure.
Boop, boop. Wow. I'm really nervous every time I click this button because I'm like, I've gotten 2 full successes eventually I'm going to bomb.
Okay. So if I may,
yeah.
So obviously you say what you get them to do, right? You're trying to put, you're trying to make it so that he's angry, right? I mean, he's overwhelmingly angry.
I'm trying to give him one emotion. Yeah. If it's something else, it's fine.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna take the I'd like to guide this a little bit because I think I'm not sure now.
Actually, I should. Sorry, I got a 12 there. I didn't take my +1 for
right. Yeah, I figured you might not have, but I was like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I got a flex on.
Let me think about this. So okay. So just to clarify, the answer to the question was put angry in his chest, right? Because that's the easiest way to do it.
True.
Two, that this was what you were doing.
Right.
So that gives me a little bit more leeway to do it. I'm about to do it.
That's fine. I just meant that, like, if he has an unusual reaction to it, it doesn't change my plan any. I'm still just going to steal his power.
Right.
So I was like, but.
So here's what I'd like to say happens, right? You take angry, and I think he tries to put something else in. Yeah. He tries to put happy into like dodge an attack or whatever, or put driven in to know what's coming. And it doesn't come. And I think maybe like fear, like sparkles. That's not the right word. Like
flares.
Yeah, that's the right word. Thank you. It like flares a little bit. Yeah. And
also, I'm slowly walking towards him at this point. Right? I've said my insult, and I'm just like I'm just like final boss walking at him.
Yes, 100%. I think he tries to pull something into it, pull something in. He doesn't get it. It's fear sparkles flares because he's afraid of you right now, right? And it doesn't come though because he's too angry at you.
Yeah, he can't. It's not enough afraid to like.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, and then there's a moment where like you get near him, right? And I think maybe he like tries to go in for a punch or something, and maybe you just do like the judo throw, and throw him down. And if I can, I'd like to say you just get on top of him and start pummeling him, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So here's what I'm gonna do. So you start punching him, right? And I think like he's like not really looking at you as you're just like beating down on him. He's like kind of like looking around at the crowd. And we get a moment of emoticon like thinking back in his past. Yeah. And I think we get a shot of him with his dad. And he's like, Dad, and it's like cutting back and forth between you just like walloping on him, right? He's like, Dad, do you think I could be a hero someday too? Like you? And Heartbeat says, of course you can. I'm so excited to see you be what I know you can become. And he like looks around and like I think the crowd is like booing, right? And he and you've stolen anger, right?
Right.
I think blue sadness starts to flare.
Right.
And then you start to feel a tug on yourself. And he starts to get really angry, and there's tears like coming out of his eyes mixed with blood. And then,
my gosh,
like, well, because you're beating him, right?
Oh,
like, you're like pummeling him with his face, right? No, he's not like bleeding tears.
But
like bleeding.
Right. I was like, what?
Crying blood. No. Yeah. But all of a sudden, we're getting another song now. We're getting the song "The Death of Caesar," which you'll love when you get to it. All of a sudden, like, sadness starts to flare a bunch, and he starts to like cry out, just completely overwhelmed by emotions, like a primal cry of emotion. And anger flies from your chest and flares. Sadness flares, and they circle around each other and combine
into arousal.
And as soon as they combine, a giant explosion of ice flies from him. And I'm going to have you roll to take a powerful blow. And the mechanical effect that's going on here, just so you don't feel too, I mean, obviously I could do this either way, but you have basically triggered a villain moment of truth.
Sick. All right. I also I legitimately feel slightly emotionally bad for how awful I'm treating him, because I know it's totally baseless and it's terrible. And I don't know. I thought about it. I have zero concept of how I'm gonna play it when he finds out that he's wrong. I have no idea. I don't know if I can like reach that place of like. It has to be denial. I don't think he could go anywhere else. Anyways. Sure. Okay. I'll roll that. How do I roll that? I never get hurt. Is this what pain feels like?
Yes. Nice. Okay.
This
so
is terrible.
So
I love this game.
On top of this though, so a huge thing of ice blows from him. Okay. And you probably like you teleport backwards. Like you maybe
I was going to swap places with a waifu, right?
Oh, okay. That works too.
Sure. Sorry.
I was thinking it'd be cooler if you don't get a chance to teleport in from in front of you because you're just being overrun by ice. But you remember, like, you think about it in your head and teleport behind you.
That was what I was
close your eyes. Okay.
I figured I didn't have enough time to look for. That
leads into what happens next. And I'm going to have you roll to take another powerful blow. Because as soon as you get out of reach of the ice, but it's like you weather it, right? You don't get hit by the ice, right?
Oh, I just mark potential. Sorry. Okay.
Yes, you mark potential.
I was like, I know something happens when you do that. That's cool, but
yeah. Okay. And the ice like shoots forth, right? And this is not to the scale of Todoroki, but a little bit closer than that. This is even bigger than what he did with Ice Blade, right? But as soon as you can just barely get out of reach of where the ice like finishes off, it starts to what's the word? It starts to like electrocute. Like you see a bunch of like electrocution come out of it, and then the ice explodes in an electrical blast, like right in front of you.
Oh, okay.
A twofold attack. The powers of ice and electrical powers have combined into one.
So when this happened, can I see him through the ice? I assume.
Oh, that's a good question. I would say maybe no. I guess I would imagine it being more like, but I'm not sure what the right answer is. Because it's not like him. It's not like he's freezing the water in the air, right? He's just creating it.
Right.
I could see it both ways.
What I'm wondering is I guess it doesn't really matter if I can see him. I want to know if I think it would be safe to swap places. I assume he's not encasing himself in ice, right? This is like a dome.
Sure. Yeah. Well, not even a. Maybe it is. Yeah, maybe it is like an all around. No, it's probably directed at you. So it's probably like.
Oh, so it's not even like
glacier that of like maybe the I don't think it's probably not behind.
Oh, so it was like every direction.
No, I'm not so sure. No, I think it should be focused towards you.
Yeah,
but there's still some encasing around him.
Okay,
but it's not nearly
I want to swap places with him, but I don't want to just be in the center of the electrocuted ice. Yeah, because that would suck.
Yeah.
So
I think that could be part of whether or not you weather the blow is if you do that and then teleport away, or if you do get hit by this, you do think fast enough to teleport in there, but that explodes too. I think both of those could be good answers.
I was wondering if I could, since I didn't get hurt by the first one, if I could roll freak instead and like have time to respond to the second one, right? Because I have a much better chance of succeeding at that than taking a powerful blow, right?
Yes, but the reason you're willing to take a powerful blow is because I need this moment to be this is his moment of truth, right? And if it comes out in one attack, there's a very good reason for why it's a quote twofold attack.
Yeah.
So I think it should be.
I understand that. I guess I just thought since I didn't get hurt, if I could, I would make sense that I would have time to react as opposed to if I did get hurt, right? Does that make sense? Because I literally stood strong, didn't get hurt, took whatever.
That's a good argument.
Because if I had taken damage, it would have made sense that I would have been not coherent enough to react. I would have just had to do something desperate. But
sure.
I can just roll it again if you really want me to. I just feel like that was what I would do if I could.
Go ahead and roll free. That's fine. We'll just go for it.
Oof.
Okay. So it's either unstable or temporary, or you mark a condition.
I'm gonna mark a condition. I'm gonna mark angry. This is BS. He's this guy just got handed
the golden ticket. Yeah.
The amount of power of everybody else for no reason, doesn't deserve it at all. Literally nepotism from fate. Nepotism.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I hate this guy so much. Left Wing does, right? And he's just so done. And I actually think, I know this is his cool moment, so I don't want to I don't know. I'd like to try and steal this new large power because I think I want to do my trick myself to think small thing. Can I do that?
Yep.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yep. Go ahead and try and trick yourself.
And I guess we'll do this first. Yes. And so I think he literally he teleports, he swaps places with him.
Yep.
And so does the ice stop? What happens to the ice? Because now I guess
as soon as you teleport inside of there, I think that explodes. I think it it's like a trap. It like triggers the fact that you're near it, and it starts electrocuting, and then just like pops.
Yeah. Does it hurt him since he's where I am? And like he's not in his electrostatic mode.
Let's do this way.
Right.
Well, he is. He's in the dual mode, right?
Sure. Yeah. So I probably wouldn't hurt him.
So yes, and I would just say, I think you switch places, right? And it explodes, and he just like puts out a hand, and I think maybe like the look in his eyes is almost like primal. It's almost like something possessed him, right?
Right.
And so I think he just puts out a hand, and just like a bunch of ice just comes out of his hand, and just like it just like explodes in between him, and then he like lands, on the ground, safe and sound.
And I think we see Left Wing. He's got sort of a similar look in his eye, right? He's just so peeved. Yeah, and we see again, it goes into that like spirit mode. He goes, you are nothing. And we see emoticon in that they just shrink down to like his shin and his like mindscape.
Okay, so I'm going to. So I love that, and I would like the answer to this to be: you try to take his power, and you just don't even get a roll here.
I'm too big.
Because you don't see yourself as equal to him. You're putting him down. And because I love that moment where you're like, well, he's too small. Now I can't take it from him.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think we see him try, and like maybe he doesn't even try. Maybe I think he probably understands that that's the case. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Cause this is his own mental block. Yeah. So it really can't surprise him, I guess. Right.
Well, okay. Though to be fair, you also did succeed at this role. So I think maybe then you do come back into it, right? And maybe you remember. Well, it's up to you. Okay.
As long as I'm still allowed to just fight him.
Yeah.
Then I don't care.
For sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, because I think basically, instead of trying to do it, right, we see that happen. And then he understands that means he can't do it. And he just goes in to fight him, like goes in to punch him. Right.
Yeah. Yep. Now, if you would like to use your moment of truth in this fight, I think now would be a great time to do that for two reasons. One, he still has two conditions. So if you do it to finish off the last condition, it's almost a waste. And two, I think the better answer to this is you overclock. That's the word I'm looking for. Overclock your teleportation powers, and you just completely dazzle him. And and you're teleporting so fast that the electrical blasts, they don't have time to trigger before you're gone.
Yeah, I think
I purposefully set this up this way so that you could use your moment of truth here if you wanted. And a
couple of things just as I was thinking about stuff. One suggestion. I forgot his name. Emoticon.
I
keep happening to me too. I don't know why.
There's 20,000 characters.
Do we think Left Wing, you're still hanging on to your permanently lose influence over someone permanently loses influence over you? Is this the moment where Emoticon is the one who you slot?
Oh, true. I guess
you could do that too.
I was thinking it had to be someone who had it, but I guess it doesn't. It just can't get it.
It just can never get it again, right?
Yeah, I mean, for sure that makes sense. What?
That's fine. I guess I'm trying to think of
just a thought.
If you change your mind about Emoticon in the future, you just still don't get influence over him, and you still can make up with him, and that's fine with you.
Well, he can't get influence over me.
Yeah.
So I can get influence over
someone
him.
Permanently loses influence over you. No matter what Emoticon says, he can never influence.
Yeah, I think that makes sense no matter what, actually.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know, because...
So you could choose that one. If you don't choose that one, though, that gives the possibility that you could actually come to a good understanding of him later in the story.
I do think
it depends on how we want to interpret it.
A possibility, right?
Okay, sure, yeah. To be fair, also, one, I don't think now is the time for you to be like, he could never affect me anymore. I think now is the moment where he's affecting you the most.
That's probably
fair
true.
enough. Yeah, fair enough. And then the other thing I was going to ask is Leftwing, what does your moment of truth actually say? Because everyone has a specific wording on it.
Yeah.
This is when you show them what you really are. Whether you're the hero underneath the rebel facade or the one who can make the hard choices heroes can't make, you do whatever it takes to show that truth, whether it's saving the day from a terrible villain or stopping a bad guy once for all, which again, I guess is a bad guy thing. But of course, once you've shown what you really are, there's no going back to playing the clown.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if we think that makes sense here, then again, go for it, right?
I mean, it's basically like you fight a guy, right? It actually kind of I mean, it says but
it has to. It's specifically about revealing to everyone who you truly are.
Right. Well, and I feel like this whole tournament thing has been them telling me I'm a villain, and now I'm just gonna beat the absolute crap out of the golden child. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. That's what you want.
Yeah. And there could absolutely, I think, like if I was watching this show right now, I would be like, yes, this is the perfect climax to Leftwing's arc. And then the next arc is him getting back up and him deciding he doesn't want to be the villain. So you could do this and still be like, okay,
you have another moment of truth.
Yeah. So, and I'm not saying that's for sure like what we should do or spoilers or anything like that. I'm just saying that still can be how you go about this if that's what's holding you back.
Nothing. Yeah, I think that makes sense. And it's perfect because Freak is the one I'm going to lock. So
exactly,
it totally fits. Yeah. So I think what happens is we see Leftwing.
This is the moment, man.
Sure.
This is what I've been waiting for. Oh man.
So what happens is he switches places with one of the
wife
like cutouts, right?
Yeah.
And then he switches places with Emoticon, and then he switches places with like basically he keeps switching places a bunch of times until Emoticon is surrounded by waifu cutouts.
Yeah, sure.
And then he just uses them to ping pong around him and just absolutely pummels the crap out of him.
Yeah.
And like even with this electrified ice, right? And like I think he changed in between stealing that power like right before it bursts, right?
I love that sight of him being surrounded by the waifus and they just become you and then unbecome you and then become you again and unbecome you. Like, oh.
Well, and I'm gonna paint some things that he does as well for you to react to. So one of the things I think before that happens is he's like he fires off some like ice shards at you and you like teleport and dodge in between them as they're like basically you get near one, it starts to trigger, you teleport away and it explodes, right? And like some are going by you and it's like this slow-mo, like it starts to electrify effect and then it passes you. And
I think I might even start being like, because again, I've been doing this whole thing where like, it's a question of my perception on size. And so maybe like he shoots a thing at me and I switch places with it. And then he just sails out past me, right?
Sure, yeah.
And like, so he's just, maybe we start seeing him get used to the idea of thinking of something like he's doing it on reflex now, right?
Yeah.
Comfortably enough that he can like do it on command. And change size, swap things with different sizes, even though, it probably takes like for powers, he has to like adjust the size of the person in his perception. But for physical objects, I think this is us seeing him like figure it out. Right.
Yes.
Maybe to the point where like it's not even really an issue. Like he's not even really having to adjust mentally for the physical size.
Yeah, I think it's an instinctual thing, right? You're focused on what you're doing. It's your moment of truth, right? You're so focused on what you're doing. I feel like afterwards you're like, did I teleport with that? Like, did I do that? Yeah, I think that's this moment, right?
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. And I think and I mean, to be totally honest, Leftwing in this moment is still trying to figure out why they didn't teleport him back when I was straddling him and just pummeling his nose in.
Oh my gosh. I forgot to even mention, I was going to even mention that. I literally thought about that. So yeah, the shot that we get about that is Four Pulse and being like, he's like, I mean, he's just beating him. Right. And Beacon is like, should I pull him back to like the teachers? Should I pull him back? And I think the teachers are just like, they're like horrified at what's happening. I think that's the right. You see what I mean? Like you get a shot of like Duplicity just being like this is terrible. And I think they're, for the moment they're like too stunned to do anything. And I think the moment where Duplicity is like yes, pull him back. Beacon is about to, and Fopro says wait. things are about to
Favoritism.
change.
Yes, people so
Yes.
much.
Well, no. It's not that. They're showing favorites. It's that Forepulse sees their what's it called?
He sees the vitals in the future.
The vitals,
and
the vitals change.
He's having a power up. He's gonna be fine, right? Yeah.
Yes. We see he's like, oh, left wing is going to be on the run in a second. So
he knew that whatever I was doing wasn't going to continue long enough to be dangerous.
Yes,
exactly.
Yes,
right.
But yeah, there's also favoritism, obviously. Of course.
All right. Yeah.
That's the only thing that's happening, really. But yeah.
And so I think basically we get like just an increasing pace of shots of this, right? To the point where like I think, like Caleb said, right, we get a perspective from Emoticon's view at the like climax of it, where I've slowly been swapping places faster and faster, and he just every time he turns to look at one of the waifu cutouts, it turns into me and gets punched, right?
And I think to escalate even further, I think he does another like primal cry blast again. As you're like just about to get the finishing blow on him, he does another primal cry like ice blast, like in a complete circle around him, right?
Yeah. And I have an idea. So I think if you're okay with it, because again, this is about like space and and like size, and he stops teleporting with them at some point. He just starts teleporting with air.
Okay.
And then when he does that, he teleports into the air just on instinct. And then I'm trying to think.
And I think when you do that, we get a shot of Mirage being like, he figured it out.
Yeah. So thanks to her. So I want him to
I also
come
think
up.
we get a shot of Mist being like, yes, and like looking around at everybody else being like, this is horrible. And she's kind of like,
my boyfriend.
And I think because this is I don't think I can do this again later necessarily because it feels cheap to me. Maybe down the road, but for the moment of truth, I'd like to say I touch the air and I swap him with the air, so we're in the air together. And I just like slam my like elbow into his chest or whatever, and just like pile drive.
You just have complete control over teleportation at that point, right?
Right. Yeah, I literally just like hold out my hand, and like he like shows up in it, and I just like punch him in the face, and we like plummet towards his electrified ice crap.
Yes. Yeah. And I think as he's falling, he disappears, right?
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
he's
about to fall I'm about to face plant into cement.
That's true. But you teleport a few seconds later, right? I think you get closer and then the ice starts to electrocute and then you're like, and then you teleport as well.
Okay.
Yep. One more thing I forgot to mention. This is totally anticlimactic. I just don't want to forget. Doomseer and Reflection are back in the stands too. I don't know if I had mentioned that yet.
Okay.
I think I did. I think they already were there. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Okay. Yes.
Oh man, that felt good.
Incredible scene, dude. Okay,
Palladium was a little shocked.
I can't wait for the end of this to be Bastion and Left Wing punching each other.
Dude, I unlock arousal after that.
Oh my god!
I unlock arousal. Okay, the joke's funny now.
If you make the same joke enough times, it'll eventually be funny.
That is not true. I have to say that Palladium is just mainly shocked by this because from his perspective, he's always been like, Emoticon's kind of cool.
Yeah,
he has not seen this random rivalry that's been developed. He has not seen any of this, and so suddenly he's like, what the heck, Left Wing?
Brutalize a man for no reason.
What is wrong with you?
Yeah, for real.
Savage.
So I think the scene is really awkward when you guys get back into the thing. I think Emoticon starts crying, it looks pathetic, right? He's like broken down. He starts crying, and I think maybe he even punches the ground. He's just like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Left Wing's at 12 on the anger scale. I think he literally might just pace out of the room, right?
Yeah. Well, and I think the teachers walk in the room to make sure that Emoticon's okay, right? He's having a mental breakdown, emotional breakdown. I just
kind of shoulder past them. Yeah.
I think maybe Angel, as you're walking by him, he's like, Left Wing, I think that, and you shoulder past him, right?
Yeah.
I think Weightless stops you by putting a hand on your shoulder, and it's a weighty hand. It plops you in place, right?
Yeah.
You put weight into it.
Sure.
And, and he looks at you and he says, remember, you decide who you become. You just made a choice today. and now you have to live with it.
Oh,
And he
please.
lets you go.
Everyone else made that choice for me. You heard everybody on the TV.
And I think he grunts and he says, "Yeah, and if everybody listened to what people said about them on TV." And he's like angry. I think he like trails off with that. Like the first time you've heard him speak, where he becomes like
clear,
disgruntled.
simple sentence.
Say. He's just like, and he just shakes his head, and I think he brushes past you and walks to emoticon.
Yeah, and that, like, I think that gets to Leftwing more than anything else, right? Like, we see that bothers him.
Yeah.
Maybe not necessarily. Well, I mean, I guess what he said is true, right? Like, that you obviously shouldn't let that get to you, right? But that's also easier said than done.
Yeah.
But I think just mostly that Waitless is one of the few teachers he respects.
Yeah.
And so that's difficult, right? And he also had that thing earlier with Scarlet Blade where that happened, where he disapproved of that too, right?
Yeah.
Although,
another thing I forgot to mention, because I didn't write any of this down, I just had this in my head. Is Countess was watching the fight. I think maybe we get a shot of Countess like beating up some villains or whatever, and then a bunch of people are gathering around a TV, like in a like a classic like in the window moment on the street. And she like comes down and like
she's
sees
holding
that
the guy and punching him.
And she goes, looks over the TV and she's like, oh no. And then we cut back now again to Countess like standing there with the rest of the crowd. Yeah. And I think she's just like, what have I done?
Yep. Good stuff.
Incredible. Yeah. Okay. So we'll talk about this more in the after show. I've been holding on to the fact that emoticons powers can mingle for like a year, and I'm so excited to finally be out with it because there's so much to talk about with it. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I honestly expected, I thought that was going to happen, but I thought when they merged, it would be a different emotion that was like a in between. So like sad and angry might be like distraught or something, right? Yeah. Like, which would have been ridiculous because then he'd have like 15 powers. So I see why you didn't go with that. But
so I think Palladium and Bastian, you guys are in the room, right? I assume you guys just let things play out.
I would have done something if I thought I was in there. I assumed that I was kicked out because I would lost the tournament.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you did lose the tournament. Yeah. So you'd be down.
I'm not there.
Maybe you just maybe you were getting to the stands where all the other teammates are, but you never sat down because you were like, what is going on? That'd be and then I was already you would be up there though.
I was already planning on not sitting down anyway because I wasn't sure if I wanted to like be Palladium or be John, and so I just kind of standing in this weird shadowy alcove, where you can see things in the back but not really participate.
Yep.
Yeah. Honestly, I was gonna mention
that's been a long time coming.
One of the things that was shocking to Palladium about that whole sequence is that from Palladium's perspective, he hasn't seen this like. He's shrugged off all of the Leftwing is a villain things. I'm like, nah, he's not a villain. I know Leftwing. He's just a joker, right? And then I'm like,
wait a second, he's a villain. Wait a second, Leftwing's been a villain this whole time.
I'm the armor type.
Leftwing's villain move. Yeah, I know.
And I'm sure you are, but I hope you know why I kept the like villain track a secret for emoticon, because I was like, if I tell you, you're gonna be like, no, I don't want to do that. So I have stuff like that in this. I
plan on burning this or driving this emoticon car that is on fire straight up. Yeah, so it's all right.
And not into water, because then the fire would go out.
True.
It's gotta be into gasoline. Yeah. Right into a gas station.
And then I'll teleport out before it hits the ground. No, I'm kidding.
Okay, so Bastian, do you have any moment there?
Is so emoticon's still like on the floor, right? Still. And Leftwing left already.
Yeah, I basically walked straight out as soon as they teleport me. I think I'm literally walking back down to the field because I know we're fighting next.
Yeah.
I have to go back down right away. So I think I literally just go back down. I'm like, I'm gonna ride this. Or basically just don't want to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Well, and I think as you're waiting up there, I think Architect is already down there remaking the arena, right? I think, maybe one of the New York school teachers comes over to you. Well, it could be not mnemonic. Would it be this guy that bullied Leftwing from the narration or announcement or whatever?
Yeah.
His name is Quotient. He probably is like, you're up next, Bastian.
On the way out, I stopped by. I looked down on Emoticon, and we need to have the obligatory one line Legolas has to Frodo in like the entire movie. Since we haven't conversed yet.
Okay.
And Bastian states the ancient Chinese proverb: "True gold does not fear." True gold fears not the test of fire. And I'm gonna roll mundane.
Okay.
Nice.
What are
Comforter
you
support, I assume, right?
Are you trying to push him past his like? Are you?
This is a special move, right?
So yeah.
First, I'm using thermodynamic miracle.
What does that do?
That's
It lets him roll free.
Well, so that's if you. Yes, but it has to. The trigger there is you're telling someone how they're special or like.
I think he's implying that he's gold, right? He's something
true gold.
more than everybody else.
Oh, okay,
right?
okay. I see. Okay, I get that now. Yeah.
For everyone who can't
fine.
understand my horrible Chinese accent, the proverb is "True gold fears not the test of fire."
Okay, yeah. So I'm okay with you rolling freak, but just to clarify, the kind of like the line I've drawn between comforter support and my custom move is comforter support is an in the moment thing. The custom move is a permanent advancement type of scenario. So if you're trying to comfort or support him in the moment, you can do that, or you can say, I want to push him onward. And
so one is like, I'm trying to help you learn and improve, and the other is I'm trying to help you stop crying, right?
Yes, that's exactly that's exactly what I mean.
Which makes sense because the actual move like lets them heal conditions and stuff. If it's
it's mark potential,
correct.
clear condition, shift label.
So that makes sense. It's the heal move, not the train move.
Yes.
Yeah.
So which one does mine do?
It depends on what you're trying to do. It's up to your intent.
Which is when you comfort or support.
Right, but are you trying to push him to understand something new and like surpass a problem, or just trying to help him calm down and like recover?
I would assume the permanent one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like to me too.
So you can't use that move. Unfortunately,
so when you try the trigger there is when you try to help a peer get stronger or overcome a personal obstacle, roll plus mundane. We actually have decided, Caleb, that that's okay for him to use.
Yeah, we've been
miracle.
All the custom moves we've been using our moves for. Yeah. Just because
I'm fine with it. It makes sense. It makes narrative sense. So I'm fine with it.
Let's go, baby.
Yep, 10+. I love this moment. Okay.
That is a really good line for that.
That is
for emoticon in this moment.
Great time.
Yeah. I hate that.
Dude, I've been holding on to my Chinese proverbs for a while now, just waiting for the perfect chance.
Yep.
We're usually just douches. So there's not much time.
It's true. Well, this time I outdouched you so much that you got to be the nice guy. So
yeah, there you go.
Which is crazy because you just killed somebody. So you know,
we had it coming.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, so I marked advancement on him. Bastian told me I was gold and to endure the fire. Love it. Such a great moment.
He just walks out. He doesn't
walks
wait
down.
for it.
Yep. Okay, so I think we get a moment of we get the song Champion as the final showdown is coming down to it, right? Leftwing versus Bastian, and we get some cinematic shots of that. Palladium, though, do you want to talk with any of the teammates?
I don't know. I was trying to decide what do we think makes the most sense for Palladium to do in this instance.
Are you talking to your sister?
So I have something.
Yeah.
I for sure have something. I for sure have something for you.
I thought he was going to talk to his sister.
Go ahead, talk to his sister. Okay. So I think maybe Mist comes up to you, Palladium, and I think she as like Leftwing is going down. I think maybe she's like, should we go like talk to him before he, finishes out the tournament?
I think I say, he's fighting Bastian. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Honestly, if anyone can straighten that guy out, it'll be him.
Yeah, I love that.
I have the perfect idea. I can't wait for this. Oh man.
Nice. Okay. So yeah, dude, I'm telling you, this finale, like tournament finale thing here,
really
this is everything we've been pushing for so long. This is such a great payoff.
So good.
So what's going on here is I think maybe you're like trying to decide what to do, right? I think what happens is you get a call from Gemma.
Sure.
I assume.
And I think I was, while I was talking to Mess, I think I was standing up in the shadows up there with my helmet off, but the rest of my armor is still on.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah.
And so I answer the phone like I still have, it's just my face. So
maybe the like the stadium, the stand part where the sidekicks can be is kind of like kind of like a sun thing to it.
Yeah, exactly. I was imagining, and
wall.
I'm kind of halfway on the stairwell on the side too.
Yeah,
kind of is where I was imagining. Okay,
so
so
it's more secluded-ish.
Yep. Hey sis, what's up?
She says, you are not gonna believe this, but I don't know if I told you this yet, but I got a backstage pass basically to the tournament, and they said I could go up for the final the final fight to the box. So I'm here now, and I kid you not, that agent guy or this agent guy, Marty, he said that I could bring you up too. That you could come up to the box with me and we could watch the last fight together.
Yeah, I say, wow, that's really coincidental because I just showed up to the tournament right now.
Oh, you did? Oh, that's great. I think in her head, she's like, oh, crap, I forgot that she doesn't know that I know that he's already here.
Yeah.
Right.
And while I was saying that, I think my armor is slowly like going back into my bracelet, and I just start walking away, right? Still talking on the phone. I'm like, I'll be there in a little bit. You're lucky I wasn't at school.
She goes, yeah, we're both lucky. This is going to be awesome. We get to watch the tournament finale from like the VIP lounge. This is so cool. Oh my gosh.
How's the view? I've never been up there.
I gotta
go. Okay, bye.
Okay. Yeah. I think we're gonna cut back and forth between these two things.
Yep.
So let's start the fight.
If Jared's down for my plan, this is going to take 4 seconds. Jared, did you check Facebook?
Oh, no,
okay.
I didn't. Sorry. I was looking at Chinese proverbs.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes. All right. I'm so excited. All right.
Oh, no.
All right, set it up.
All right. Yeah, I think Duplicity kind of like mildly perturbed says, all right, the moment you've all been waiting for, the final fight. Left wing versus Bastion.
Oh, yes. All right.
Let the fight begin.
So, Jared, are you cool if I steal your power right away? Do you want to make... this won't work if I have to roll and fail, so... Are you on board with this?
Well, okay, so it depends on if Bastion as a player is on board or Bastion as a character. If Bastion as a player is on board, but not Bastion as a character, you should definitely roll.
I guess. I
don't know what.
Are you gonna tell me what the plan is, or like?
Yeah, I'm not gonna fight you. This is Left Wing being like leveling the playing field, right? So that he doesn't just get slapped while he tries to tell you his idea.
Oh no, I know exactly. I know exactly what is happening right now.
We're out there for like a minute before they like say.
Yeah, it's not dramatic.
Go. Oh, okay.
But I'll roll. It's fine.
Okay, because Bastion's.
If I fail this,
the way Bastion.
Oh, thank goodness. Okay.
Okay. So.
All right.
So wait. Okay. What's going on?
So we stand across from each other, and instantly Left Wing just steals Bastion's power. Unless you want to make. I know this is technically you can oppose it, but
because the plan Bastion's been thinking up in the box is the second he says go, he's just going to throw out a smoke screen.
Okay.
So you can't steal his power unless you're seeing him. But
okay.
I guess it makes it even better because when the smoke clears.
Yeah. So yeah,
that's what they'll see.
Well, do you want? I think maybe you should roll for that.
Okay.
Right, to see if you create a smoke screen.
Well, so I can do it from memory. So like maybe you just do that and I steal it anyways, right?
Well,
I thought you had to see.
I do, but I can remember. I can steal. I can teleport from memory, as long as you don't move much.
Okay, so I would say that is a like crossing of lines that I think maybe doesn't quite exist yet.
Well, then I mean,
because one is
even
way
if that's
harder
not the
than
case,
the other.
Can I see souls through smoke? Like it's not a light. Like a
so we've never talked about this
haven't.
Actually.
Doesn't he have second sight?
I would say no, because I would say the way that you described it, was it's something else that you see when you look at a person. So I think that's what I want to go for. So you can't see it through walls or things like that, right? You can't. It's not a energy manipulation sense. So I think you have to see the person to do it. That's the way I've always mapped it out of my head by the answer to that question. But I'm like, your power is the power I've had to think about the most.
Yeah, right.
Because it's like, okay, how do I like if this happens, does that mean that this like he would see that? Or
it's up to you, Jared. If you want to roll or if you want to just do the thing, we can do that too. It's fine.
Okay. Well,
I don't know what's going on. I'm just trying to play unbiased GM here.
No, okay. Yeah. If you say it beforehand, he'll do it. But so, if this would be his first move otherwise, and then once we're like in the fog, you could bring it up.
So here's what happens then, right? Before the fight, right? We cut back to before the fight. Maybe we get a flashback.
Yeah.
And Left Wing looks over and says, I'm not gonna fight you, bro. This is stupid. And
then whisper.
Well, so he doesn't. I don't think he says anything else, right?
Okay.
Like he leaves it at that at first.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that'll be enough that like because Left Wing doesn't do anything at first. He just like literally slowly walks towards you and steals your power.
Okay.
So maybe Bastian gets into like a fighting stance and then just
if you say that and just I think he'd throw open the smoke screen right away. If we're just doing whatever, let's just do that happens and then when the smoke clears. They see both of us sitting at a carbon table.
Yeah.
But with two carbon benches and like we're arm wrestling.
Yeah. We slam our arms down and
we'll roll for the win.
Yeah. So let's.
You're just gonna arm wrestle?
Yeah.
This is incredible.
Do you just want to roll a d6, or is there we're gonna a label for this?
We are gonna make this the most dramatic, drawn out arm wrestle there has ever been because I am still gonna cut back and forth between Palladium scene and this.
Right.
So the smoke clears and you guys are ready, and I think maybe you guys are maybe Left Wing is like ready and Bastian's like ready, and then we cut.
Yeah. Okay.
Is that cool?
Yeah.
Okay. Palladium, you are walking towards the box, right? Man. And you hear some commotion. Mm-hmm. You hear some shouting. And I assume you were walking towards it.
Mm-hmm.
So like to the left is like is the way to get to the box. It's still a ways off. And to the right, you hear some noise coming through, maybe like a cracked door.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'll check it out.
Okay. So you walk towards it. And you hear Marty's voice, and it's kind of like a fade in, right?
He's like, "This is not where Marty like he gave Gemma like a ticket, and I was assuming that he was like in the box with her."
Yep, that is exactly what I intended for you to assume.
All right.
Marty says, "Listen." It kind of like fades in as you're kind of like hearing the last half of us, something he's saying. Right? He's like, "Listen, I'm not even a real agent. I'm an imposter. I could be your double agent. You just can't blow up the bomb. Okay? Maybe somewhere else instead." And you hear
I'm already going to the room.
So you
full armor. I think as I was jogging over, I got my gauntlet on. Just like my it started to just in case, like so I have part of my armor already on. And then the moment I hear imposter, I slam open the door and my armor is getting on.
Yep. Your armor is getting on, you said?
My armor is starting to encase me, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you said I take my armor off. I was like, why?
No.
Okay. So I took us to a new room, a new screen. This is the scene. We got let me pull up a couple of faces that you see.
Yeah.
In the room. And between them, let me just draw a stupid looking red box for what appears to you
be a bomb.
To look like a bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I guess that is the way I'm drawing this massive bomb.
There's a shape tool. You can just like draw a red rectangle.
That's what I was trying to do.
Let me draw you a bomb.
Yeah, you draw it. So you walk in the room and you see thank you. You see Marty standing there with a gun. He's pointing it at these two figures, right? And there's a small-ish, like battery size, maybe. No, probably bigger than a battery size. Like, I don't know, like toolbox-sized bomb.
Mhm.
Okay. And it's got all sorts of wires connected to all sorts of different things. You're not quite sure exactly how it's set up, and you probably wouldn't even know to begin with.
Yeah.
And I think the cloaked one is holding a trigger
Mhm.
in his hand, and the other guy is shuffling a deck of cards.
Mhm.
And this one says, let me pull open my notes.
So you said
here.
Marty was pointing his gun at them?
Yes.
And so remind me what he said again. I'm not a real agent. I'm an imposter.
Yes.
What else did he say?
Marty
let
said
me-
that?
Yeah.
Yes. Hold
I'm
up a second.
confused now.
Hold up a second. He said, listen, I'm not even a real agent. I'm an imposter. I could be your double agent. You can't blow up the bomb. Maybe somewhere else instead?
Oh my gosh.
Dang.
So for a moment, I knew that they were going to be villains because Connor had me prepare these tokens. I thought that one of them was going to be pretending to be Marty.
Uh-huh.
But now I'm pretty positive this is just actually Marty, and he's been.
That's awesome.
No.
Okay, so you walk in the
Amazing.
room. I think Marty does the kind of he's pointing the gun, right? And he kind of
Yeah.
glances back at you, and he's like, Palladium, you are not supposed to be here right now. And the guy who's shuffling a deck of cards says, sorry, let me pull up my notes again. He says, well, hello, Palladium. I was hoping someone else would show up to join our little game. Come.
Man.
Would you like to, he says, come on in. The more, the merrier.
I'm gonna do game face.
Okay.
When I commit myself to save someone or defeat a terrible enemy, stop. If anyone in the room here who is a terrible enemy, I'm trying to defeat them, right? Like whatever is happening here.
I think you have to pick one thing, right? Because you're putting on your game face. It's not all enemies and all people.
You
to
want
save,
to
right?
save Marty.
Yeah.
Because until that's done, you get bonuses to anybody, right?
You want to save the event.
Yeah,
save
that's kind of what I was
everybody.
thinking, right? Is to just save the auditorium, the
That's true,
stadium.
From
Right?
being
That-
exploded.
Yeah, exactly. That feels like a fair enough, right? That's the big threat here is bombs killing innocent civilians. Is that all right?
Yes, you commit yourself to
I'm going to
stopping
commit
the
myself
bomb.
to save the
Yep,
citizens
that's
in
fine.
the arena. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to mark. Oh, I shouldn't be marking anything right now.
How many conditions you got left after this, buddy?
This is a terrible idea, but I'm going to I'm going to mark. I'm going to mark afraid.
Okay.
No.
Caleb, is it worth it to get a +1 for
Plus
a
one
minus
ongoing?
two?
Well,
But
I'm not
it's a
going to be
minus
rolling.
two
plus one to
ongoing.
I'm not going to be rolling danger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, but I am going to be rolling.
Unless
I am
you
going to be
don't
rolling
have an
directly engage a
argument.
threat.
Yeah. Well, if you can't
Yeah.
argue for the other one, you have to roll out one. So
Okay.
that's
All right. I'm not going to do game face. It's not going to be worth it. Any of the conditions I have marked right now, are angry and guilty.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, those are really the only ones you can afford to have marked when you're
I think
going
so.
into a fight.
I think so. Okay. Yeah. I mainly I thought it was going to be cool because Palladium having an emotional reaction to this moment and then going in game face felt like the right move narratively, but I think probably mechanically it's a bad move. So I'll refrain.
So while you're thinking this through,
Yeah.
This guy, the guy with the card, says,
Mm-hmm.
just so we can do some introductions here, I'm Roulette. This is my friend and colleague Slipblade. We're here to set off a bomb and go kaboom.
I already hate him.
And he says, Marty here was just trying to convince us not to blow up the bomb. But I'm hoping that you'll try and I'm hoping that you'll be willing to handle this situation differently. And I think Marty's like, just don't listen to anything he's saying. And Roulette says, kaboom! And Marty kind of shakes. And Roulette says, don't interrupt me when I'm talking.
This entire time we've been getting shots of in the inside of Palladium's helmet, and he's just shaky breathing because he's
Hyperventilating.
freaked out by what's going on.
Yeah, this is some high stakes.
And he says, I would like to make a bargain with you. And he is shuffling his cards, and he pulls out 2 different cards, and he says, you see, let me. He says, I would like to make a bargain with you. How about this? If I pull a black card, he says this. If I pull a red card, we will we'll sit here until the clock runs down to 0. Sorry. I finally found my notes. He says, why don't we play a little wager? A bargain, if you will. I draw a card. If it's red, you get what you want. And he shows you like a queen of hearts. And he says, if it's black, I get what I want. And he shows you like a 2 of spades.
It's the only red card in his deck.
Yeah. He says, if it's black, the bomb goes off right now, right here. And me and my good friend Slipblade, we're standing in the safest place in the room, just close enough to enjoy the view. What do you say? And if it's red, perhaps this bomb ticks down to 0 and nothing happens. No one gets hurt, no blood, no noise, a quiet little mercy.
Can I roll to assess the situation, please?
Absolutely. And while you're assessing the situation, he's going to go on. Yeah, he's going to go on actually while you're assessing the situation.
Going to have
go
a
ahead and roll
penalty
first.
to that, I think, right? Because you're guilty.
Yes.
A penalty to assessing the situation here.
Yeah, I do.
I'm going to give you a -2 to assessing the situation here.
Well, so -3 is the worst you can get, right?
Oh, you already. Oh, I'm saying sorry. You already have a -2.
I already have a -2.
He has a condition.
Yeah. Right.
So you could give him -2, but it's just ends up -3.
-1.
Yeah.
I thought -2 was a little pushy.
I thought -4 was the lowest it could go because +4 is the highest.
Yeah, they're not the same.
It's the other way around because a -4 would mean that you can't ever actually succeed full hit. Yeah,
it's +4 -3. Yeah.
And +4 means that you could still roll double ones and still fail.
Right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they intentionally make it so it's always you could always get each option.
Yeah. So real quick, I forgot one. Oh yeah, I have a superior of 2. So I am rolling -1 total then.
Okay.
Is that what you were intending? Okay. All right, here we go. All right.
Okay, a 9.
Nice. Spend some team on Marty.
I don't think he's on my team anymore.
Yeah.
Can I do that, Connor?
It's completely up to you. How does Palladium perceive this situation, and what would Marty be doing to help you?
Caleb perceives the situation as Marty is a traitor, and I will have to punch him by the end of the scene.
And so if Palladium doesn't trust him, I feel like it doesn't make sense to use that as team.
If he's going into combat against a terrible foe, does he count as a team? Can he get some team?
He does not. I don't think so. There is still one team in the pool, right? So
there is, yeah.
Right.
But then you'd have to ask all those questions too, right? It doesn't quite.
I'm gonna spend it selfishly because
there you go.
I'm gonna
to shift your labels.
Marty's the one in the room.
Talk smack to Marty.
Exactly. That's what I want to do.
I think Marty is even like, don't play his game. Trust and you like interrupt
shut up,
him,
Marty. Right? Like something like that. Okay.
Like don't even.
When you spend team to act selfishly, say how your actions ignore or insult your teammates. Well, that's an easy one. He told me this. Remove a team from the pool and shift one label up and one down. So I'm going to go ahead and, for the purpose of this roll, right, shift superior up, and then probably danger down. Because I shouldn't be rolling danger itself.
Okay.
Oh, you can use this option after rolling if you want.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you don't need to do it now. Oh, you already rolled.
I already rolled.
Yeah. So
I'm going to get a full hit then on assess the situation. So what I do, so Marty said what exactly again?
He said, don't play his little game. Just trust me. You don't want, and you interrupt him.
Shut up, Marty. I'm going to have words with you when this is over.
Yeah.
And then
I think he's like, I think he's like, what's wrong with you? As if you didn't hear what he said.
I ignore him. I ignore him at that
keep
point.
in mind, you can also at any point pierce the mask. I don't think Palladium is in the slightest trying to figure that out right now. But just
okay. So
ask 2. What here can I use to blank?
The most important one for me is how could we best end this quickly? How can I defuse this bomb and stop the situation from happening?
That is a great question. I
By winning the game.
I think, well, okay, first of all, how can we best end this quickly? It's not quite the right answer. It's not quite the right question, right?
Because I think the answer
if I can
needs to
use
be,
up both of your questions, I'll answer two things related to
real
that.
quick. How can we best end this quickly? This being the situation.
Yeah.
Likely the options
the
are:
quickest way.
Do I go for the bomb first? Do I go for him first? Do I go to, that sort of?
I think the way that you look at how the bomb is situated, your mind immediately goes to like TV shows and movies, and you're like, if I move that bomb, I think it's just going to go off. And like just the way that all these wires are laid out, I think you're just like, there's no way I can even move the bomb and not like pull some cords, right?
You're probably not dumb enough to
Is he
bring
able
it
to hear
to
the rules of the game before he spends these? If he wants to?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, and he's for sure going to give this monologue to you before you do anything else, right?
Okay.
So do you want to save your next question for that then? Well, no, because you asked a question. Let me answer it first. How can we best end this quickly? I think the way to best end this quickly, right, would be to kill both of them, and somehow the bomb doesn't get moved at all. But I think that's the most dangerous option, right? The most impractical, improbable option at the same time.
But quickly that's true.
That's yes. So let me say what he is going to say now, and then if you want to ask your second question later, go ahead. Okay. Oops. Hold up the wrong notes. He said, yeah. He says, and I'm sure you're wondering, well, how can you just say these things? Why do you think anything like that is even going to happen? And no, I don't think Marty says anything. He says, you ever notice how the moment you start worrying about something, it suddenly doesn't happen? Like you're walking home thinking, man, I hope I don't get mugged. And bam, nothing. But the one time you're relaxed, that's when the crowbar comes out of nowhere. See, people think that's just paranoia, coincidence. But I've seen enough now to know that's not chance. That's conversation. That's the world listening. Luck, chaos, fate. And I think he's like showing you different cards as he's explaining this, and still like shuffling, doing all sorts of like little card tricks, right? Whatever you want to call it, it's always been there, nudging us, whispering through cracked mirrors and spilled salt. People used to pray to that kind of thing, make sacrifices, avoid the 13th floor, knock on wood like their lives depended on it. Because deep down, they knew randomness is just order we haven't earned the right to understand yet. But me, I speak its language now. Cards, risks, bargains. That's how I keep the dialogue going. Every draw is a question. Every deal, a little act of faith. And if the stakes are right, if the tension's hot and the nerves are crackling, sometimes it answers back. Thing is, I don't control luck. No. I'm just its favorite preacher. And let's cut back to Left Wing Ambassador.
Wait, does that mean he doesn't actually have a power?
That is a great question.
Real quick, can I ask my other question first?
Yeah.
Before we move on. So how can we best end this quickly? Take out those two before they can set off the bomb. What here can I use to take out these two quickly? Like, because Palladium's plan.
Okay. I'm going to say what here can you use to take out these two quickly? Marty.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But again, just clarifying, we're talking about best ending this quickly.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that this is the best answer or that anything like that.
I know.
That's all I'm going to say.
The thing is, Palladium is built to absorb energy. If this bomb goes off, that's exactly what he's going to do. And so I think he based on your description, he understands that this bomb is
unstable enough. I don't think he trusts. He doesn't trust the villains. He doesn't trust their game. He doesn't trust Marty really at this point. He knows the only way he solves this situation, according to his understanding here, is if I have to, kill them, but take them out as quickly as humanly possible, as efficiently as humanly possible, and don't let them get another word in edgewise. And so, like, the last shot we get before you cut back to Leftwing and Bastion is Palladium just saying into his armor with reverb right in his mind. He just says, buddy, I'm going to need you real bad in just a second here.
Okay, so the song we're getting for this is also The March. I know you're familiar with that song, Caleb. Obviously, I didn't add that either because I didn't want to add any suspense. The March. Kings and Creatures. It's like the album covers like that blue one.
I don't think
you'll listen to it again.
Yeah, I will. Crap. But the last thing I say, I say, you got my back? ?
Yeah, it sends back a determined vibe.
Yeah, and I say, I feel like my feet have been, and we're getting like anime, like time is frozen.
Yeah.
I feel like my feet have been
frozen. And the bomb is like ticking down. Maybe there's like less than 5 minutes. No, I'm gonna say 2 minutes. Let's say 2 minutes. Yeah.
I say, I feel like my feet have been frozen ever since I entered this room. But now it's time for them to move.
Okay. Yep. Let's go back. Let's go back to Leftwing and Bastion.
Also, for context, I assume that because you didn't answer grab the bomb and fly away with it to any of those questions, I assume the assumption is that he won't survive that, right? Because that was not the best option. Like, if that was something he could do and it would work, that would have been the best option, right?
Set off the bomb and absorb the energy.
Yeah, just lay on the bomb.
I from an unbiased player perspective, I 100% agree with that assessment.
Yeah, I guess the player, that would be the information that gives implies that
that's
laying
not
on the bomb
best
work,
option,
right?
Yeah, I will try it as a plan B if I have to, but I'm going to try to take them out first. Like from Palladium's perspective, like, you don't negotiate with terrorists,
right?
You like, I don't want Marty to come up with a plan here because I don't trust him. So I'm just like, I have to act. Like, that's I have to do something right now.
That's totally fair. I just was wondering if that was an intentional piece of information or not. But,
yeah.
Also, the last part of his monologue reminded me of a joke I made in one of my books where the superhero thing, where a girl's like, yeah, my superpower is that I can control any machine anywhere in the world as long as I have a computer and an internet connection and a password.
I remember that.
And the guy stares at her and he's like, wait. She's like, I don't have any powers.
Yeah.
She's just a nerd. And I was like, wait, so his superpower is that he knows luck is a thing? Like, when he can't do anything with luck? That's not a superpower.
He's good at cards.
Just to pull back to something he said, I think you might have missed this. He said maybe if the card is red, maybe we stand here and the clock ticks down and nothing happens. And if it's black, me and my friend here, maybe the bomb goes off right now.
He sees the
and
outcome
we have
of chance.
I'm just reminding you of what he said. I'm not going to answer that. That could have been the question you asked, right? Is who's the greatest?
I heard that and I was really confused. Because I was like, aren't they holding the bomb? I thought I misunderstood where the bomb was. So, okay, now I understand. That makes a lot more sense. Okay. I assumed he didn't not have a power. I was like, wait, but what's his power? Okay. Anyways.
I think I was picking up what you were laying down the whole time.
I think I forgot to mention, I don't know how important this is, but Slipblade, the guy next to him that he introduced, I'm just going to interject. I'm going to retcon and say he interjects and is like, not another one of your silly games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was wondering about him because I was like, this guy's just monologuing. I don't know what's happening with this guy.
Yeah.
He's probably just used to it.
All right, cool. Okay, thrilling arm wrestle. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think the only way we're going to extend this at all is if Bastion has anything to say, and obviously Leftwing's not in the mood to like start a conversation. So I'm curious if Bastion has anything he wants to get off his chest with Leftwing, or if we just arm wrestle. It's fine if you don't. I think that's the only way we'll extend it past just rolling. Not that it needs to be. But.
I think while we're like struggling, Bastion's just like, that was one heck of a fight you just had.
Yeah, well, you know how it goes.
Well, yeah, I know how it goes fighting terrorists and whatnot, but that was pretty intense for a classmate.
Yeah, well, we have some beef. It's a long story.
I love this. 10 out of 10. Bravo. This is so good.
I was sitting there thinking, like, Leftwing does not want to fight Bastion. The worst thing that he could do right now is punch Bastion. I was like, well, how am I gonna? And I was like,
just keep going.
Perfect.
Keep going. Keep going. This is so good.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
What was the thing you just said?
So we have some beef. It's a long story. I think that's what I said.
Keep up the straining and the grunting. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about it?
Not really.
It's so good. Maybe it's like every time you guys are saying something or grunting, like it's that person is getting the edge over the, like, it's kind of going back and forth. And of course, a bunch of people are confused. There's some people booing, and I think all the classmates like we pan over to them, and I think Mist is like, "Are they just?" And Quantum Co's like, "Yep." I think Thunder is laughing.
Oh man.
Bastion, you could always roll comfort or support.
That's what I was feeling was happening. Is like you're just actually talking to each other, and that's the moves that are being made, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Could also be Pierce the Mask if you wanted to know something.
I want to do Thermodynamic Miracle, but I need to wait for it.
Special Bastion.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the conversation might need to keep going for that, but it's up to you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Did you say something last, or did I? We keep interjecting, and
yeah, you're really the only one here who like gets me and where I come from. I don't want you to the path you're going down.
This is so perfect, you guys.
I'm just
trust me, it's a slippery slope.
Yeah. I'm just playing the part they assigned me. I'm sure you heard the TV.
I think Bastion gets mad when he says you're playing the part that's assigned you.
Yeah.
And he just like he almost gets you.
Yeah.
I didn't take you to be a coward. You're just going to conform to what they expect of you.
Whoa.
You're left wing.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Maybe the arm wrestle just stops. Maybe neither person is really pushing.
You know what? I stop and I punch him in the face when he says that.
Yeah.
The crowd goes, "Oh!"
Yeah, I grabs
like, you punch him back. Yeah.
And I think just like a ton of carbon blades, like almost like pierce you, like your throat, and he's just like, this was what this is what was expected of me. You're muted.
No, I'm not. I was thinking, how much do I know about that stuff? Like that you know, people, how many people died around you, and I don't know, presumably that you killed people. Do I know any of that?
We like the group heart to hearts. He's kind of just nonchalantly said, like, when Thunder was like, "Oh yeah, I killed someone." Like, yeah, same.
Oh, I did that too.
Yeah,
you're right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did.
And we had a couple like group heart to hearts where like you know, I don't think you know the specifics, but just
I legitimately choked when you said that.
What?
when you said, "Oh yeah, I killed somebody too," I like legitimately choked.
Yeah, I recently listened to that part and I was like, oh my
That's-
gosh.
Yeah, I think Left Wing just kind of like walks forward a little bit, like into the blades. Like I assume they're not in such a way that they'll kill him, but like maybe it cuts him a little bit, right?
He's not actually trying to murder you.
Right, yeah. But basically, yeah, Left Wing just walks forward, like he understands that you're not trying to kill him, and he's not worried that you're trying to kill him. And he's like, look, I don't really have any idea what you went through, and I definitely don't imagine that I could ever understand it. I mean, I don't really even know the details. But if people are going to look down on me, I'm going to show them what I can do. So maybe I'm not becoming what they want, but I'm sure Zach's not going to let them talk to me like that.
I point to like Mist and Thunder and all of them who are like laughing at us and all that, like having a good time. And they don't look down on you, and they're the only ones that matter.
You provoking him?
Yeah.
Is that a provoke?
You can like change my labels, right? That's a thing. Like you can use your influence.
You could expend your influence to change his. Yep.
Oh, you can do that too. Yeah.
Just labels. Yeah.
I'm gonna. I forgot about influence. I'm gonna expend my influence. We've never done that before.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's in peripheral.
24 episodes.
Well, no. Okay, so it says when someone with influence over you tells you who you are and how the world works, accept what they say or reject their influence. So it sounds like, Bastion was just saying that. Like, it's up to Left Wing whether or not he resists.
You can expend it, I think, to inflict a condition. Right?
There's like
I like
you can
I
surrender it to give them a -2 on a move they just made after the roll. Take an additional +1 on a move targeting them after the roll, or inflict a condition on them.
Well, I thought
it sounds like you're shifting their labels, right?
Yeah, if you want to shift their labels, you can.
Well,
you don't even expend it. Yeah.
Right. So what you're doing doesn't you have to expend it.
Yeah. Correct.
We're trying to figure out if it costs anything, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
So.
No. What would you be switching?
Oh, hold up. Wait. We also, we have team moves. We also have, everyone should have a when you share a vulnerability or weakness with someone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's look at that.
Give them influence over you and ask them who they'd like you to be. Mark potential if you show them that person. If they're a teammate, add one team to the pool no matter what.
I would say you guys are both doing that. If you guys want to both do that, that's fine.
Yeah. But so I think just to do Left Wing's end of that, he says,
can you post those in the chat?
Yeah.
Which ones?
I got Bastions here.
I don't have any of those on the.
You have to click. There's a hide your team move at the bottom. You have to unclick that box. Probably. At the very bottom in the middle, it says team moves.
You see it. When you share a vulnerability or weakness.
Okay.
Give them influence over you and ask if they honestly think there's hope for you. If they say yes, mark a potential or clear one box on your Doom track. If they say no, mark a condition or mark one box on your Doom track.
That's awesome, dude. So Left Wing side of this thinks it's.
Well, this isn't hope for me. This is him talking to him.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think this is Left Wing focused right now.
Yeah, and I think Left Wing says, maybe you're right, but like I'm not here because I wanted to be. All right, I just ended up in this place because that's where I had to go. Didn't have any other choice. But I don't know. I guess you're right. I don't really care what anybody else thinks other than you and the team, I guess. But I don't know. Still not going to let them walk over me. And then, I think he looks over again at Mist and Thunder, but and I think he just shakes his head. He's like, I don't know. Maybe I went off a little half-cocked.
It was pretty cool, though.
Thanks. Yours was too. I still didn't know you could freeze the air. I don't know. You're wild.
Okay, so we get it. We cut over to the box, and Beacon and Forpulse are like,
is there a fight?
Look at it. Yeah, and
what's happening?
And Duplicity is like, I don't know what we should. And Weightless is like, let him talk. He needs it. And I think Angel says, "Who's he?" And Weightless shrugs and says, "Both of them do, I think."
So real quick, what mechanic are we hitting here?
I missed a part of the move that I think was the part.
I don't think you've hit either mechanic yet, really.
Yeah. So the thing I had this in my head and then I lost it. He says, "You guys are the only one that really care. What do you think about me?" So I don't know. What do you think? What am I supposed to do? And what should have I done? I don't know.
What the trigger for Left Wing's move is ask them who they'd like you
to be. That's what he's doing.
So
right?
Who, not what. Yeah. So I was just trying to make it clear for Bastion as the truth behind the truth, right? That's the question behind the question.
Yeah, he's asking you who you want him to be, who he should be. He's saying, I basically only really care about your opinion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
Oh man. Oh no. I need to think of something inspirational.
So no matter what happens here is, David, you give Bastion influence, but because he already has influence, he automatically shifts your labels.
Yeah.
So we should do that first because his response is part of the second half of the move. So Bastion, what are you trying to do for left? I guess maybe it's part of what you're about to say here. Either way, Left Wing's labels are going to shift, and then depending on how Left Wing responds to what you say, he'll either mark a potential. Well, you'll mark a potential if you show them that person.
I mean, I guess superior down and savior up is what I'd think. Oh, I can't move superior.
Yeah, superior's low.
Danger down and savior up.
Yeah, that was my thought also.
Yeah.
Right. Cool.
Danger down and what up?
Savior up.
Yeah.
Savior's locked.
No,
sorry, I'm looking at Bastion.
Yeah.
Okay. Looking at Bastion sheet.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lock Savior.
Yeah. Fair enough.
So yeah, okay, sorry. So how does he convey that?
I need to think of something.
The last thing you said, you were pretty awesome, and I said, yeah, you too. I didn't know you could do that. That was pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So. And then maybe after that he says, he's like, so, man, I don't know. What do you think I should have done?
I mean, Bastion could just say, you could do what I did, try and help him.
Yeah. It will help emoticon, is what you're saying?
Yeah. I mean, you could go at the angle clearly he's unhinged. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He needs someone who knows himself.
Because he's asking you, what should I have done? And you're putting danger down and savior up. I feel like that's the most.
Yeah, you shouldn't have punched him. But you should have saved him.
Yeah.
Which I mean isn't really true because it was a tournament where I had to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's the way you went the question behind the question.
Right. I didn't have to be mean. Yeah. Except I did. I wouldn't have won if I hadn't been mean. But yeah, that's true. Did you get a Chinese proverb?
No. Oh, dang it.
Should we cut away?
Wait. Oh no.
Hey, Chatty
Large
B,
chickens
give me
don't eat small rice.
What did you say?
Large chickens don't eat small rice. It's a traditional Chinese proverb.
I love that one.
Oh man.
Honestly, I think that might be the only thing he could say that would work because
large chickens don't eat
No,
small
I think he
rice.
means a proverb.
Seriously.
Oh, really?
No, I mean that because the thing, if you said, "Oh yeah, emoticon, you should have been nice to him," I'm like, dude, he's been handed everything with a silver platter. He has everything. He doesn't need people to be nice to him or save him. He's like on a pedestal of perfection. But if you're literally like you're better than he is, that's something Left Wing will receive, right? That's how he feels, anyways. If he's literally like that conflict is beneath you, right?
Yeah. And that would perfectly tie to how you were doing stuff in the fight anyway, right?
Yes. If
that moment of looking at his powers or whatever.
Yeah. Bastion, do you say that? Is that what?
I think he starts saying, I mean, losing control. I mean, you've seen me. I've lost control before.
Rose.
It's how you come back from it that matters. And in regards to emoticon, well, as my uncle used to say, large chickens do not eat small rice.
Okay, so I think Leftwing is super confused, right? But then I think we get that moment of back in that mindscape, right?
Yeah.
And Emoticon's
crying and he's like shin height.
Yeah, and you realize that that's where you're at, right? And then the scales come back up, and you see what I mean? Then you're like, huh, yeah. I think maybe even Leftwing turns away from it as Emoticon in his head. It's almost like a subconscious thing of like, oh, okay, I don't see him as.
He's like letting go.
You're like coming to letting. That's what I mean. Yes, letting go of that pettiness. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So he cocks his head, and then we see him sort of like his eyes wander, and then he's just like, "Well, I don't know about chickens, but I'll think about it." And then he looks around. He's like, "Anyways, maybe we should arm wrestle."
Okay. I would say roll unless you're trying to also trigger Bastions, because you also shared a weakness, right? But your question is ask if they honestly think there's hope for you.
Yeah, you shared a vulnerability, but you didn't do the other part. So I mean, if you want to, go for it. Like I can roll back the suggesting we arm wrestle, but
I think this is fine. This was more about
Leftwing.
Yeah, about Leftwing.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. All right, go for it.
So it sounds like
do we just want to roll a d6? I mean, I don't really know if we're ruling.
You guys can literally roll anything you want. I don't give a gosh darn heck. You guys can do whatever you want right now.
I was thinking of just doing like a direct engage a threat, but like without actually hurting each other. But
F it, I surrender. I like punch you on the chest and say you deserve a win, and then I just surrender.
Yeah, Levin's like, what?
And I just bamf out of there.
Leftwing's just standing there like, what?
I think it takes a few seconds because I think we cut to the judges and they're like, did he just say? And Weightless is like, that's funny. Yeah, pull him out. and I think Angel, Duplicity, Scab, what's his name? It's just a normal name, so I'm forgetting it. Can't even think of the class. Superior class. They pull them all back, or they're all like face plumbing, or disturbed, or not disturbed, like just like disappointed, I guess, or like I can't believe that was our finale. Like unbelievable.
Exasperated, I think is the word you were looking for.
Yeah. And I think Weightless says over the mic, he's like, Leftwing, do you want to go around too instead? Give him a show.
Wait, what? What did he
like
ask?
with him, he's saying.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, you want to face me instead? Give him a show.
Do I still win if I die?
In all reality, that was a pretty disappointing ending to the tournament or to the tournament for the fans. But
yeah, for sure.
I totally was expecting you to just say no, but that I think it'd be really funny that if he says that. So
no, I asked him that. Yeah.
Oh, do I still win if I lose?
Do I still win if I die?
I think Weightless says, you'll sorry, I'm not doing his voice right. You'll still get the advancements, but no, I'll take the trophy.
I'll pass, thanks.
It would be funny if he gets the first place advancements, and then Caleb has to get fourth place advancements.
Yeah. So I think Weightless. I think everybody else is kind of whatever, and I think Weightless just kind of looks around the room, and he's like, he says, listen, we can be concerned about publicity all we want, but at the end of the day, our students are what's the most important. And I think both of our final contestants had a big win just now. And I think everybody else kind of is like, yeah, okay.
The audience like,
yeah, like the audience is like, and I think Duplicity goes, we have a winner. Leftwing is the winner of the Heroes in Training tournament. And I think they just let you bask in the glory.
And Leftwing is still like, why did he just leave? Like, he looks confused.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't even do the arm wrestling.
I also, Jared, that was like the perfect thing you could have done in that moment. I love that.
Especially the way you did it. You punch him on the shoulder and say, "You need to win right now."
Dude,
because
that was
because left
I
wing
could not have scripted. First of all, when we were talking about like I anticipated everything, I did not anticipate that. And that was 10,000 times better than an actual fight. That was so good.
Especially
Yeah,
like having left wing
be
like
a punch fight otherwise.
Yeah, having left wing like go villain mode on emoticon and have this whole big emotional thing, and then for Bastion to basically tell him like, no, you don't need to be that person. Like you could be a hero instead. You know what? You win the tournament. You need, and then it's like left wing is now hero again, right? Like there's this.
All right. Let's cut back over. I think there's a like confused booing, applause, like all sorts of weird mixed emotions. Nobody's really sure what's going on, and there's a mix of wants and desires and tension, and then we cut back to the same thing happening in a different room.
Mm-hmm. I moved before my feet knew what was happening.
Okay, so if that's actually what you're doing, I just want to clarify something with you by posting this role. This is this is kind of a workshopped role. I'm not 100% certain about any of these things. I just haven't had enough time to think it through properly. Mm-hmm. So we're going to take some caveats of this, but this is the role.
Jiminy Christmas.
Oh wow, that's gracious. That's a lot longer than I remembered it being, because there's lots of enters, lots of new pages. So when roulette draws a card, when you're caught in one of roulette's games of chance and he draws a card tied to your fate, roll +0. +1 if you have influence over roulette, -1 if roulette has influence over you, -2 if you rejected the bargain or tried to cheat the terms. And that's what you're doing right now. And there's a very good reason for why this is happening.
I see. Okay, go for it.
On a 10+, luck is on your side. The card's power triggers, but you control how it lands. Choose one. You avoid the effect entirely, no condition, no cost. Redirect, the effect hits you and also someone or something else of your choice, not a close ally. Outsmart, you find a loophole. Ask the GM one question about roulette's power or plans, as if using Pierce the Mask, or take +1 forward against him. On a 7 to 9, Twisted Compromise. The card hits, but fate adds a sting. Choose one twisted consequence below, or let the GM pick. I'm not sure.
Do we need to read out the whole thing?
There. No, not necessarily. It's a fun one though. And on a 6- there's some bad stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing what I said, right? Like, you don't negotiate with terrorists. Unfortunately, he's an adult, so I think he also gets the -1. I have to get the -1 for him having influence over me. Yes. So I'm rolling a -3 here, but I'm rolling. This is what I said I was going to do.
So and what you're rolling right now is to see what happens when he draws a card.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So I assume it's easy for him to draw a card before I can cross the room. So yeah. All right, here we go.
And there's an even better reason why this is happening the way it is. He does have a power.
That's totally fine. Okay, boys.
I might explain it to you guys after this, but
I think this might be where Palladium dies. Here we go.
If it's where Palladium dies, it's where everybody dies.
Well, keep in mind, you have a moment of truth to spend here too.
That's true. So that's true. I got I got a 5 and a 6 on that roll.
Oh wow.
I don't know if we could roll on this. I'm not sure how even these are though. So delayed doom. The effect doesn't land now, but something has been set in motion. The GM will unleash it later. Collateral damage. An ally is caught in the effect alongside you. Too literal. The card fulfills the letter of the bargain in an ironic or brutal way. That doesn't quite qualify this instance necessarily, but a strange side effect. You experience an unexpected side effect.
Wait, the bomb goes off and it just turns off.
That would be a success, right?
I'm going to choose delayed
7 to 8
doom.
is a success. 7 to 9 is a partial success.
I'm going to choose delayed doom because I want to be able to take I think it's more interesting too, because then it's like he pulls a card, nothing happens, and I just right, and then something's going to go off in a second here, but I don't know that. I'm just like, what are you doing? Whatever your random game was, it didn't work. Right.
And I think the way that we transition back to this shot is we transition over to all the sidekicks. New York school, your guys' school, and then
everybody
we go down.
Who dive, the bomb goes
and
on.
It's right underneath is where the bomb is.
Right, of course.
So it's not by my sister?
No.
Okay. Would I be aware of this? Given that I'm just coming from there, that this is where
That those are the stakes, just like my
no,
friends?
I don't think so. Well, you could maybe put it together. I guess that could have been one of the questions you asked. Maybe
true,
that's a
that's true.
suspicion in your head, right?
Yeah.
You're
Okay.
thinking
That's
maybe
fair
this is
enough.
right above.
Probably doesn't really matter. Like,
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am very obviously doing more than a shield, going directly to engage a threat by heading into danger without regard for my own safety. I'm rolling
Okay.
Savior.
Yep.
Here we go. And I'm like, this is Palladium activating instant kill mode. Like,
Yeah.
Palladium has never really thought about killing a person before.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he is basically, it's not even an angry thing for him. It's just that he knows he cannot hold back. He cannot pull punches. If he obliterates this guy with, if this is a normal dude who's threatening people with bombs and I obliterate him with a punch to the face, it will not matter to Palladium. This is what he needs to do in this moment.
We've seen what you've tried to do to little girls, so.
So I think the slow motion scene we get here as you decide to roll.
I should have let you both Witch Girl.
Well, I guess in terms of situational minus certain penalties, for sure a -1, maybe a -2. I'll think about it a little bit more, considering the circumstances of the situation, right? You are rolling with Savior, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it would be a +1 for acting on the answer to the question, right?
Yes, true. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So keep in mind, you don't trust Marty. You're not including Marty in this plan. No. So therefore, you have to kill both of these people at the same time. I'm going to say -3, actually.
But Marty is still holding them at gunpoint, right? Even if Palladium doesn't trust Marty's still contributing.
And that could be team spent, right?
That's true. Yeah.
That's how I'd spend that.
Okay. I guess I just meant that you increased the penalty when you mentioned Marty, but I would think that he'd actually be an asset more than.
Well, no, I was saying, so one thing is he's not including Marty in the plan, which was part of one of the answers to the question of how he could actually accomplish this.
Oh,
that and he's trying to kill 2 people at once.
Sure.
And Marty's could possibly not react fast enough, or Palladium might get in the way.
Okay.
So I wasn't trying to say you get an extra -1 because you didn't tell Marty about this. That -3 makes the most sense for trying to kill 2 people at the same time without them pushing the button on a bomb. Yes. And I think the slow motion scene we get here is you're going after getting closer. I think Roulette is smiling as he's pulling his card, right? And his smile is slowly like
oh crap,
growing angry, right? And we see the card that he pulls is the Ace of Spades. As you're closing in on them, right?
Okay.
Now, because he has a card that delays the bomb, even if he doesn't know that's the case, would that decrease the penalty? He actually has more time than he thinks he does.
Right. So it shouldn't be the Ace of Spades. It should be the 3 of Spades. But yeah, okay. So go ahead.
I was wondering if that decreases the penalty at all, because he actually has more time than it seems like he does.
That's true. That I did choose delayed doom specifically, Connor.
Yep, that's true.
Because you mentioned that he was trying to kill 2 people very quickly, and I'm wondering if not having to do
-2 is fine. Yep.
Okay,
yep, that makes sense. Yep.
Okay, so what you're saying basically is I am directly engaging a threat against both of them at the same time. So if I succeed, I will be able to do whatever that thing is against both of them simultaneously.
Well, and it would be right. It would be you're targeting 2 people at once. So the effect would.
I would be trading blows with both of them.
You're trading blows with both of them.
Yeah. All right, here we go, boys.
I believe in you.
Oh my gosh. Come on, Palladium.
Really? All the times.
All
2-1.
So because I did more than a shield though, I can't even spend team or do anything else really.
We're in danger instead of you, you dirt.
Yeah. Okay, so one thing to note, you have your moment of truth. Secondly, let's resolve this roll, right? You're trying to kill them and you're failing more than a shield.
So not only do I fail to directly engage a threat, I don't hit them, right? I don't trade blows.
Oh my gosh.
On a miss, your focused attack leaves someone in grave danger. The GM will tell you what it takes to keep them safe. You
rush both of them.
Yep.
The slip blade moves like he doesn't move any part of his body, and yet somehow he slides over faster than you can lunge after them or push your kinetic energy that you've been storing with that hammer thing, right? You're pushing out your kinetic energy. He just slips on over and pulls out a sword and swings it at you as you're coming in. And I'm gonna have you focus attack leaves someone in grave danger. So someone else, right?
Mhm.
So I'm gonna say you either like dodge the attack, or the way that his power works is really wonky, and he like pulls his sword around, and instead of the sword being like a friction attack, right? It's this like immovable object that swings across you and just like deflects you.
Clotheslines you?
Kinda, yeah. And so it's this really weird interaction, but basically you get thrown. He slips super fast over, like basically protecting Roulette. And I think maybe Roulette's
inertia.
card like drops out of his hand, right? Yeah, and you just slam into the wall. And
Okay.
and I think I didn't describe it yet, but this is like a boiler room, right? Some sort of like utility room, right?
Yeah,
so you like slam into the wall, maybe like some steam goes up, and then Marty fires off a few shots, and Slipblade like just like basically grabs Roulette and slips off with him and like hides behind something basically, and we get like a couple of shots pinging off, and then you as Marty is firing off shots, you hear an all too familiar voice screaming.
No.
And it's Gemma. She's standing in the doorway, covering her ears, just witnessed gunshots and this happening.
Oh boy.
And then the bomb goes off.
All right. I jump on the bomb.
Is this you activating your moment of truth?
Can I activate my moment of truth after I've tried and failed?
I'm not sure I like that.
When
well, I
do
guess
I have
the
to...
way that I would say we should handle that is if you roll something that the consequence happens first, right? And then you use your moment of truth to do something, right? Because so if you had decided to change, like say, oh, okay, well, I'm going to do my moment of truth so that his card effect doesn't take place. I would say, no, his card effect take place, and that just raised the stakes for your moment of truth.
Yeah.
I'd already thought that through, if that's what you're going to say.
Real quick, I'm just going to double check the rules for moment of truth and just see.
Yeah, I'm looking at them too.
When you activate it, let's see.
You can't trigger your moment of truth until you. Okay, wait. Then you can trigger it whenever you want, and during the scene you have full control. Yeah, it just says whenever you want, but
it makes sense though that we have to resolve the effects of the move before you can activate it. It's just whenever we want. Besides that, okay, yeah, I don't think I'm going to activate my moment of truth yet because I still have I'll save you, which I have never done once, and it says you're willing to pay high costs to keep your loved one safe. Reveal your secret identity to someone watching, or mark a condition to defend a loved one as if you'd rolled a 12+, which implies you do it even if you failed a roll.
You're defending one person with that.
Yeah, it's fine. Marty.
It says loved ones.
Yeah, right.
Plural.
But if the bomb is going off and you're protecting Gemma, what happens upstairs?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But I mean, is there any scenario where Gemma lives that the people upstairs don't? Like she's in a closer proximity to the bomb than anybody else.
I think what Connor's saying is like the moment of truth. Me activating my moment of truth right now means I can save everyone.
You save right?
If I don't do that and I try to absorb this blast and I fail, I can save Gemma, but I cannot save anyone else above.
You don't stop the bomb from going off, right?
It would probably be like
the bomb. You could save Gemma.
I could, yeah. Whatever I do to.
Oh, so what you're saying is you'd allow him to use that move, but it wouldn't be to absorb the bomb. It would be to like fly out.
It would be to save Gemma specifically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
because you're saving one person, right?
It says saved a loved one. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. It's plural the first time. It's it's singular.
Yes. It just means in general this is the sort of thing you do, and here's how it specifically works mechanically. Okay, what do you guys think? I think it's way more dramatic if I don't use my moment of truth here and I roll this, and if I fail, I just save Gemma and a bunch of people get hurt. Like that could be really cool narratively. It also could be really bad.
I mean,
what do you guys think?
I mean, I'm confident in rolling a high savior for myself and the people near me. Maybe not all the innocent civilians next to us.
I don't know if we'd have any opportunity to protect against a bomb, and we don't even know it's there. It would just go off.
Yeah. Well, how good do we have?
Well, let's be real.
Reaction speed.
We have. There's a superhero in the called Four Pulse who senses when people are about to die. That at least could help someone.
Would only give us a few seconds, and I don't think anybody in the crowd has like teleport beacons on them.
Yeah.
Oh, is it specifically you have to? I forgot. How
Yeah, there's
power
two
works.
people. Four Pulse can see the thing,
Yep.
and Beacon can teleport people back to him if he's touched them.
If he's
and
touched
it's a one-time trigger, right? He has to then retouch that
retouch
person.
them after they. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know how 4 Pulse's power works, but I assume there's some kind of limit to the people he can observe too. Maybe I assume there's some.
So as we get this slow motion scene, right, where the bomb it is, I think the bomb hasn't run out of time yet, but it's about to go off, and I think it starts like maybe like doing some extra beeping. And if right.
Yeah.
Well, not like some extra beeping as like it's getting down to the number. I think it goes like it's like all of a sudden it's just decided it's going to blow up faster, right? Because of the result of the card.
Sure.
Oh, I thought the result of the card slowed it down.
No. So the bargain was if it's red, the bomb doesn't go off at all. If it's black, the bomb goes off, and it goes off right now, and me and my friend is safe. The card that he drew, the effect was it's a delayed black card, right? So it's the doom is it goes off right now, but it
does go off. It just didn't go off immediately, like he.
Gotcha.
And the reason why, if we're talking about like the rules of fate or whatever, is because Slipblade and Roulette weren't out of the way yet of the bomb to be safe,
so it couldn't go off. Okay. I see.
I really like that. I think
so,
I can't.
So we get a shot of interjecting here while you think.
Yep.
We get a shot of Doomseer, who's had a power suppression injection, who doesn't know that this is about to happen, sitting in the stadium, totally fine. And maybe she's like, "Oh, my headache is coming back." And we get a shot of 4 Pulse looking out over the crowd, like maybe like packing up, and then he like turns and looks, and he goes, "Oh no." And we cut back in.
Okay, I am not going to use my moment of truth.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not going to do it because I think it's going to be way more dramatic in every single possible way if I don't. Part of the reason for this is because I feel like using my moment of truth here, I don't know. I don't think it feels like a true, like an earned victory. I think I want Palladium to suffer a little bit here.
Well, I don't know if anybody's worried. I think Palladium would probably be fine. I think we're worried about all the people above it.
Like, if you guys think I am like being stupid as a player, I think I would rather save my moment of truth for something else. I think.
Sure.
Or at the very least, try to do this, and then maybe I
think if you do this though, I think Palladium needs to know. Like, there needs to be some repercussion that Palladium knows he could have done more to stop it.
Well, no, that's just a moment of truth, right? Well, okay. You could have a guilty moment of like, I wish I would have tried harder to stop it, but your moment of truth is something spectacular that you don't know you can do, right?
All right, let's take a look at my moment of truth.
You can't replicate, right? Like Leftwing can't do his crazy teleportation thing at will all the time now and just beat everybody.
Yeah.
It's a moment of truth, right? A moment of truth.
One of the things about the moment of truth for me specifically as a Janus is it's about my identity thing. The mask is a lie. And some piece of you has always known that. Doesn't matter if others can see it. You're the one that can do the impossible. Mask off, costume on, and you're going to save the dang day. Of course, you better hope nobody nasty is watching. I understand that like Gemma being here matters for the Janus stuff, but I think personally my I'll save you move feels much more appropriate to this moment with Gemma than doing moment of truth. I feel like moment of truth has to be like the whole world finds out or a bunch of people find out rather than just my sister finds out.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Either work. It's up to you, bud.
Oh my gosh.
But like here, keep in mind, Palladium is going to try to absorb this bomb. I could still succeed, I assume.
Can you succeed at absorbing the bomb?
That's what I'm asking.
No, that's definitely a moment of truth.
But I absorb energy. Like that's my whole thing.
Yes.
Like, okay, it's one thing. This is the thing. We've had moments of upgrade of our powers without using moments of truth before.
Yeah,
wouldn't he just have like a situational minus of some sort while rolling free?
I don't. Well, okay. Here's the scope though is very different, right? In terms of like rolling to defend somebody, right?
Yeah.
I would say the roll to defend somebody like I think the way that we handled it before was like you take a -1 for each person extra that you're saving, or like how unlikely the situation is of like how many people you're trying to protect,
But
right?
could he use freak instead? Change his environment?
That's what I was planning on doing, is unleashing my powers to absorb the blast. Another option here, Connor, if you think this is more interesting, I could also do never give up, never surrender. When you take a powerful blow from someone with far greater power than you, I could just be like, I'm absorbing it and it might hurt me.
Okay, all right. Here's what I want to try and avoid, though. I want to try and avoid the next sequence, you being out of the fight.
Okay.
Do you see what I mean?
There's more to what's happening here than just the bomb going off.
Well, I can't disclose that information at this time.
Yeah.
But my point is like the aftermath of this situation, you won't be able to play, right? If you're failing at something this consequential. And it would be, I think it would be weird for me to roll, never give up, never surrender, fail, and for me not to be like, you're out of the fight, right?
But it says specifically on a miss, you go down hard, but leave your opponent off balance and vulnerable. I'd be fine with that.
Go down hard. Well, go down hard suggests that you're not out of the fight, right? Because there's a consequence of you take a powerful blow where you flee, pass out, etc.
Mm-hmm.
If you fail, you see what I mean? Like the stakes don't quite fit the role.
I don't know what you mean. I'm confused.
So like,
because like Palladium's whole entire thing, his entire campaign has been taking hits for other people.
Yeah.
And like he is literally jumping on top of the bomb. I'm fine with rolling unleash your powers if you think that makes more sense. I'm also totally fine rolling never give up, never surrender if you think this is about like, can I take the hit? Can I like take the hit of this blast? I feel like that's like appropriate. Either way, I have a backup plan to save Gemma. If you think that the situation is so dire that the only thing that really actually will save the day is the moment of truth, I'm okay using the moment of truth. I just didn't realize that was the stakes.
Well, so let's put it this way. Let me leave you with these two thoughts, then you can decide. One is let me try and sell you on a moment of truth.
Okay.
The moment of truth would be you absorb the power of an entire bomb and you don't explode and kill everybody above you anyway, right?
Yeah.
That is a whole nother level of crazy power that you've never had before.
If I absorb the power, we already had a situation happen before where I absorbed too much and it has to go somewhere. You're right.
Yeah, we don't want to establish that you can take a whole bomb.
You're right. Okay, I hadn't thought about
that. The moment of truth has this perfect moment where then you're there with your sister, your armor comes off and she sees, right? And that's mask off. You've always been this person.
That's true. Okay. All right. I'll do it.
Another one is better hope no one nasty is watching. There's two people there that will survive the blow that are watching.
And Marty knows.
It's just one of those things where like in a game like this, I really like actually rolling and actually getting the
I understand.
Roll,
yes.
Right.
Yes. Well, in my head, I'm like, what? But how can I make a fair roll when it's the stakes are that high? I guess that makes sense that you didn't realize the stakes are that high.
I didn't realize that.
Let's put it this way. Go ahead.
Specifically, I didn't realize that before we had established that, like, if I get too full, the Avenger has to go somewhere. That obviously is a more moment of truth thing than. Yeah.
Well, so the amount of people you'd be trying to protect, right? If we were going to a number, would be Gemma, Marty, if you're trying to protect Marty at this point in time.
Sure.
And then 33 other people that are above on the stands, right? And that's not covering any other type of collateral damage that may or may not happen.
Okay. All right. I'll do it. Okay. Yep, I'll spend my moment with truth. You're correct. Okay. I think that makes sense.
I wonder, you're eventually going to, one of the things you were thinking about, like learning how to do was converting energy, right?
Yeah.
This might be a perfect time for that, because if you could convert it to like electrical energy and put it into the ground, then you could release all that energy without killing everybody. And that would be like a moment where you've learned something new, right? Because I was just trying to think about how you would do that. Right.
Yeah, I was just imagining that it would just be kind of like what am I trying to say? Pushing the capacity of my armor. Like I go over and like it starts absorbing it, and then my armor's just like, I can't go much further. Like you have to. Like you have to. There is no going back. Like and then by the time it's all over, my armor's going to like start steaming and just come off of me. Right. Like it's all going to be got, but and it'll have to like regrow and whatnot. But like it did, right?
You had a metamorphosis, right?
Yeah.
It'll come back
Okay,
stronger.
all right.
Okay, so a
my
couple
moment
things I want to narrate about that as well is
Yeah.
Gemma is watching the whole thing, right? So
No, of
she
course.
gets to see this whole epic moment.
Yep.
And Marty doesn't go and run or try and dive out of the way. He reaches towards you. He goes, Palladium! And he reaches towards you as we get this slow motion sequence.
And yeah, because I slammed against the wall, right? And then I hear the ticking.
Yeah.
And we have a moment where I start to move. We see slow motion like rubble coming off of the back of the wall as I like move forward.
Yeah.
Starting to slowly and then we get the reverb. As I talk to my armor, I'm like, this is it, buddy. I don't know if I've ever asked for anything like this before. But there's a lot of people counting on us right now. I'm going to need you to take all of this. Do you understand me? And I just jump, and then Marty's reaching me for the lady. And he's probably trying to intercept me because I like slam past him into the wall, and I'm running, running superhumanly fast past him. My armor is, I think it's venting everything out. I think we get this moment where like it vents out. Palladium's armor has always had a little spark in it. It's never been dull, right? Either there's always been like a little tiny bit of energy from something that has always been in there, or there's some like innate energy that never goes away or something, right? It's never just been dull, but now
Something
it goes
runs
dull.
the power.
Exactly. Now it goes dull. My armor expends every single drop of anything that's in it, and like just it's void now. And I almost stumble because it's like sharp blade, right? Like it feels so heavy all of a sudden, and it like there's nothing there. And I kind of just stumble forward and then land on top of the bomb, and then and we just see white light. There's no soundtrack at all. You just see a white flash, and we get maybe like Gemma's face and Marty's face just before that moment. We get Four Pulse and like Mist and a couple other people, Doomseer, and just frozen in like the last second before the bomb would have gone off if I didn't do this. And we just see white flash. The room is super bright, and my armor. We realize now that it's my armor that it's. I think it's pure white light, just like, and it's just like glowing and like the entire room, like a beacon. I just say the armor. Can we have this be the moment where my armor talks to me, like with an actual voice?
Yeah,
because it's like
your
so
moment.
full,
yeah.
right? It's so full, and I just hear Palladium. I don't think I can do this. I'm like, you have to. There are so many people counting on us right now. Do you want to be a hero? And then you can talk for my armor.
I was going to make it sound a lot weirder. Is that okay?
Go ahead.
I do want to be a hero.
This is what it means. We might both die in this moment. But if that's what it takes, then that's what we'll do. Take it all, and then some.
Myths and legends.
Yeah. We just have to hope that after we die, there's going to be a resurrection.
And then everything goes dark in the room. And we get like shots of Four Pulse and Doomseer, and they're like it goes away, right? Like that this impending doom is gone, right? And they're like maybe still thrown off guard for a second.
So Four Pulse sees. Well, I think like the reaction of he does, because the reaction of the crowd to this loud booming noise, right?
Oh,
it kind of like shuffles the stadium, right? There's still some sort of so there's
Well, there's a moment where like they're expecting the really bad thing to happen, and it doesn't happen. Get a couple shots of that, and then we go back, and the armor is just in pieces, smoking pieces all around Palladium. The table is like disintegrated, right? That was on, and he's just lying on the floor in like torn jeans and t-shirt, whatever he was wearing, right?
Yeah.
And the only thing that he has on him still is like just like one like kind of like half broken piece of the gauntlet, and he's just like breathing in and out, like kind of crumpled around this.
I think like Marty is like blown on the ground, and Gemma is like in that hallway, but like still in the doorway, and she can see. And I think she just says, "John." And yeah,
I look up and I smile at her and kind of like cough a little bit. I'm like, "Hey, Gemma, that's pretty crazy, right?"
I think Marty says, "You son of a gun, you got your way anyway, didn't you?" And I think we hear like Roulette and Slipblade like shuffle in the corner there, right? And maybe we hear like a noise, and you turn and look, and they're gone.
Okay.
And we're gonna cut out. This is end of session here.
Yeah.
We're gonna cut out. Just to clarify, since you did use your moment of truth,
yeah,
you have truly, completely changed how this next sequence is going to go. Sure. But something bad is still going to happen.
Yeah.
And we cut over to the like everybody like feeling that thing, right? Feeling whatever happened. Like all the sidekicks are like standing up, right? Like what's happening? And we get another shot of Four Pulse going, "Oh no." And we cut back to the sidekicks and whatnot, and we hear kind of like a leaking noise almost. And then we hear a gruff voice, and I'll pull up his picture here. I'm so glad you used your moment of truth, Caleb. I was terrified as to what I was going to have to do.
Mm-hmm. I was like, I feel like we haven't seen a lot of people die yet, but I feel like this setting is not soft enough for people to survive that. Yeah.
Whoops, I'm on the paint tool.
I'm really excited for this next sequence to be Palladium Palladium only has a gauntlet and has to slowly regrow his armor as the whatever the sequence is cool. Yeah, that'll be great. Because then it will just be John, right? As going on to off that moment of truth, I'm just like, it's just me. Like I'm doing the things now.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, we hear this voice, this guy, his voice, and he just says, "Roulette and his silly games ruined the whole plan." And then we see Quantum Quill, and she goes, "Why do I smell propane?" And Shorty turns and looks at her, and then this guy here, Dynamo, he is smoking a cigarette. We get a shot of him, and he pulls open his lighter and goes, "Shh." We cut away to underneath the stadium. We hear a loud explosion. We hear screaming, and we see a figure slowly walk into the light. I don't think this is a token yet, and that's fine.
The new Tempest. I knew it.
Somebody puts. We see a hand towards their face
as they've just put the mask on.
And their whole body changes, like the clothes on their body changes to like medical clothing. And he slowly steps out into where he can be seen by the light. And then we're going to end the session there.
Is it actually propane?
Yes.
Propane's made out of carbon
and
nitrogen. You stuck.
I am okay. We need to talk about this after show. I have so many thoughts. Goodness gracious!
All right.
Wow.
That was a good episode.
What a session,
dude! Yeah, I've been telling you. I've been telling you guys. I've got the craziest trap going on behind the scenes.
I locked Savior, by the way. Obviously.
Yeah. All right. Well, okay. So it's 12:07. If anybody wants to go to bed instead of having an after show,
I want to do an after show so bad.
Yeah. I mean, I should go to bed, but I want to do an after show.
All right. Cool.
Be quick about it as well.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. This is also why I was like 8 to 11, maybe 12. I was like,
maybe 1.
Oh my gosh.
All right. We'll add the stream here and then we'll do an after show.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Cool.